Welcome everybody to Roll Together. Thank you for joining us at twitch.tv/D&D and twitch.tv/rolltogetherrpg. I am George. I will be your DM for about 3 hours from now. Yes, because we're playing some wonderful Dungeons and Dragons. What, I hear you ask in my mind, is that Dungeons and Dragons is a tabletop role-playing game. Each of these people around me will be playing a character. They're embodying a creature, a being, a character in a fictional fantasy universe. I, on the other hand, am the Dungeon Master. I will play everything else. So all the other characters they meet, describing sort of locations, event situations, sort of creating things from this, from this, and presenting these situations and seeing what they want to do and how they want to handle it. And as part of that, that often means rolling dice. I have a d20 here. That's the most commonly rolled dice. Usually when they want to do something not necessarily difficult, but where the sort of success is conditional or there will be interesting consequences to failure, that sort of thing, or risk, I'll ask them to roll some kind of check or roll or attack roll or something like that. They roll a d20 and they add or occasionally subtract a number from their character sheet, which is kind of statistical representation of how their character works and what the cool things they can do. And the resulting number tells us what happens, which is kind of, yes, interesting and improvisational. 20s broadly are good, ones are bad, numbers in between make sense in those kind of ways. So feel free to cheer or boo accordingly. I've done a very good job of describing the rules. This is definitely, if you come out of those paragraphs feeling like you understand D&D, well done, because that's nothing to do with me, right? Now, please, will be a great time for the players to introduce themselves. So if you could give your name, if you wish, your pronouns, anything you want to say about yourself, plus the character you are playing, just sort of set the scene, tell us who they are, what they're up to, and we'll go from there. So Niall, please.
Hello, my name is Niall. I use he, him, and I play Barda Tana, who identifies as she, her. She is the mercenary with the mostest. She's ready for this new demi-plane, gonna kick some zombie plantation ass, and hopefully, get back home and bring the rest of the crew with her. She's quite determined to do that.
Fantastic, thank you. Rebecca.
Hi, I am Rebecca. I play a character called Veracity. We both use she, her pronouns. Veracity is really enjoying being out and about and connecting with the more nature, wildy, traditional druidy side of her personality rather than just setting fire to things. And she's shown extreme character growth by actually turning down some invitations to set fire to things.
Wonderful, yeah. G.
Hey, I'm G. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm playing 355, who uses they, them pronouns. 355 is a warforged created by the people in Elturel, one of the keepers, and is very, very kind of packed full of magical abilities and things, but in a sort of mechanical-like way.
Natalie.
Hi, I'm Natalie. I use she, her pronouns. I am playing Valka, who also uses she, her pronouns. Valka is big granny energy.
Well said. Yeah, great. And Ed.
Hello, I'm Ed. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character Viorica Iordash, who is, I believe we decided on dandy without portfolio, and is very excited to be getting into things, but I don't think he's prepared at all. I think he just goes into everything going, well, I wonder what's going to happen here. And then it terrifies him.
Wonderful, slightly blithe optimism is always good.
Yes, great.
Thank you all. Yes, the stream will run for about 3 hours. We will have a break somewhere approximately in the middle, but it may be a bit variable because this is all at least partially improvised. Before we get to the action, though, we need to talk about our lovely sponsors and supporters. First up is Hero Forge, purveyors of these quite magnificent custom miniatures. Here's Veracity Talon. Yes, on heroforge.com you can go and build these incredibly intricate miniatures. You can build them to paint yourself. You can build them as these are in color, full glorious Technicolor. They support a wide variety of styles and game systems. So these are all sort of fantasy-themed D&D type stuff, but they do modern tech, sci-fi, or sort of cyberpunky, steampunky type stuff. There are tons of options, and every time I go on the site, they've added more. They keep just adding new options and new cool things to put on your character miniatures. We've done miniatures, a miniature video, videos with each of these players to make the characters that they're playing in this campaign. So if you go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/rolltogetherrpg, you can watch us going through the process of making these miniatures from start to finish. And if you like what you see, you can head over to heroforge.com and make your own. They're really quite fantastic. Next up is Ultra Pro. Ultra Pro are a different side of physical tabletop accessories. They are, for D&D, you've got things like dice. I have my lovely metal dice, which are slowly starting to not betray me. Breaking them in. You've got character sheet wallets, card sleeves, things like condition cards and spell cards, all kinds of things like that. If you play other games, board games, Magic the Gathering, whatever you'd like, there's options for organizing and sort of improving your physical tabletop experience. There's also such delights as Grumpus here, who is a figurine of adorable power, a gazer. There are other ones, I think, including GIF and I'm blanking on owlbears. There's some magnificent owlbears. We will be giving something away in chat. I say we, the mods, will be giving something away in chat. So if you keep an eye on there, they'll tell you what you can win and how to do it. Fantastic. Yes, and to our lovely supporters, D&D Beyond, there's an overlay on the left with character sheets, so you can see how all of the characters today work, what they're sort of, how they are built, what they can do. So if you have questions about a particular ability you see used, or just want to dig in and see who they are, what they can do, you can click on the overlay over there on Twitch. We're also supported by Level Up Dice. I have the gigantic table shakers, these massive oversized D percentile dice, and my slightly less oversized but still like nice and chunky D20. Level Up Dice. We're also supported by Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, which is a licensed D&D strategy management video game. You can type !code in chat for this week's chest code, or you can look at the bottom of the screen and you should see it down there. We are also supported by Warriors of Waterdeep, which is an official tactical team-based dungeon adventure mobile game for Dungeons & Dragons. If you like Idle Champions, you'll probably enjoy Warriors of Waterdeep and vice versa. We've got 2 codes for Warriors of Waterdeep, one of which is if you don't own it already, you can type !Warriors of Waterdeep to get the link to download the app. And the other one is if you type !WOW gems, you'll get a link to receive free gems. So if you want to redeem those, you can do so in chat anytime throughout the stream. We're on social media. We are Roll Together RPG everywhere, so Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, those places, and possibly more that I can't think of off the top of my head. We're also on Patreon, patreon.com/rolltogetherrpg. You can join our wonderful D20 club. Thank you to all of our supporters. You can help support the shows, plural. You can help build towards some of the other goals we have there to sort of, if it grows to a certain point, we'll put out a community Discord server and other options and tiers that we can do with that. So please do go over there and support us. This show and the other shows we do are now all available as podcasts, so you can just search Roll Together RPG in your favorite podcatcher and it should come up. So subscribe, you can listen to it if you prefer getting things through audio. Maybe you're even listening to it through audio right now, in which case, special hello just for you. Thank you for subscribing. Finally, we play with a diverse group of players who play a diverse set of characters with wide-ranging sexual and gender identities. Our tables are trans-positive, and we encourage and champion trans players and characters in our games. The DM and players may portray characters that are of a different gender to their own. We do aim to avoid misgendering, but acknowledge that it does sometimes happen. And we have a company policy in place for correcting people on pronouns. If we do miss an instance of misgendering, we are open to being corrected, so please do let us know in chat or on one of our other channels if you think we've missed something, and we will try to correct that. And with that, we are finally ready to see another episode, another week, to see what mysteries and adventures awake in Seekers of Elturel Buried. Previously on Seekers of Elturel Buried. So the party are working for a senior academic at the Elturel Athenaeum and Academy Arcane, Keepercade, who has a particular interest in collecting historical oddities from all over the Cosmoverse. They've hired the party to enter the Hedgemaze, a long-lost demiplane that was once part of the Feywild. The Hedgemaze drifts through the Cosmoverse, only very rarely coming back into reach of the material plane. The party have a key. They also have a cart full of supplies, some hauliers, and a rather enthusiastic academic called Torsten Brittlehusk, and Philip the horse. They have come to a site once dedicated to Talona, goddess of poison and disease. Here they plan to conduct the ritual to breach and finally enter the Hedgemaze. Last session they entered, I don't think it's quite fair to call it a temple. So far it seems to be more of a compost heap or gardening centre, or possibly both. in a room full of composting pits, they located a creature which Veracity had detected from above with the canny use of a particular spell. Barda put an arrow in its foot and battle began in earnest. As Veracity moved through the room towards the creature, however, a clawed hand tried to seize her from below from one of the composting pits. And we're picking up right there. We were in the middle of combat, and fortunately I made notes of everything. So far, yes, you've done a surprising amount of damage to the creature at the far... So set the scene for it. So this room is below ground. It's in this sort of temple / gardening center / compost heap. It's a rectangular room, and you come in on one of the long edges. So off to the left of the door, there is this creature that Veracity detected, this poisonous creature, which, as described last time, is somewhat writhing with these large grub-like entities that sort of form part of it. And it's moved in a slightly uncanny, unpleasant way. These pits sort of pock the whole room. There's lots of these small drop pits, most of which are full of some vegetable matter in some state of decomposition. A few of them are empty. It was crossing the relatively narrow walkways between these towards the creature when Veracity was grabbed, or attempted to be grabbed by the creature, but she rolled well on a strength saving throw, if I recall, and so noped the fuck back. So this creature, you can see it is poking out of one of these pits. The other creature, the creature you'd known about previously, it hasn't turned yet. It's still on the far side of the room, looking quite angry as far as these things go. We've had Viorica, Barda, and Veracity have taken their turns and done, as I say, a slightly startling amount of damage. So we'll pick up right from there. Next, I should get the initiative tracker out. That's what we should do. But I'll tell you that next is 355, so that you can figure out what you're doing. These are not in order yet.
Are we? Sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, go on, Ed. I need to...
Yeah.
Yes, I was going to say, are we? Am I in particular in actual hand-to-hand combat? Do I remember?
Nothing is up close to you. No. So far, you discovered the creature across the room, which is the one you were aware of previously, and you have seen one zombie emerge from a pit in this way. But nothing is up close to you, and none of the creatures have technically taken a turn yet because it was prepared actions, so it's ambush actions. 355.
In that case, I'm just going to take a shot with my panicked weapon.
Which is in what form currently? I can't remember.
Which is I'm flavoring it as like it's a kind of gun that my hand has melded into, but yeah, mechanically it's a heavy crossbow. And yeah, I'm just going to take a single shot at the zombie that tried to grab at Veracity.
Yeah, absolutely.
No. That's only 10.
Only a 10. I will bring up the stat block, would be useful. I mean, they do not have good armor class. I guess most zombie-like creatures don't. So 10 does hit.
It does.
Amazingly. Yeah.
Actually, because it's I have a thirsty blade, I think it is, which means I attack twice.
Nice.
Are you kidding? Oh no, I read it wrong. So that's a 15 to hit.
So sorry, was that your second attack roll? Or was that your damage roll? Cool. Okay, so the 15, yeah, that hits.
Yeah, so they both hit. So damage is not bad. That's rubbish though. 21 damage.
21 points of piercing damage to the creature. It does. It is a quite hefty blow on one of these things. It is past half hit points. It is. They don't really make noise. It's more the sort of rattles of air escaping from it, not necessarily from the mouth. But it is animate and annoyed. I think it's such that you can say such a creature is annoyed.
And are we still all kind of crowded in the doorway?
Most of you are. Veracity moved forward. I think everyone else was sort of milling.
Veracity noped back again to the doorway. She had enough movement to get
that's true. So you're all there.
In that case, I will use my bonus action to do my genie flying thing, and yeah, I'll fly enough that I'm out of reach of anything that might be in those pits.
Cool. Are you putting yourself in the middle of the room? Are you heading more towards...
No, it's sort of just in. I'm not going far into the room. It's more get out of the way of people. It might even be sort of directly up above the door.
Yeah. The room is quite tall. It's about 30 feet tall. So you have plenty of upward room.
So yeah, I'm like 15, 20 feet. Let's say 15 feet in there.
Cool. Ed, were you going to ask a question?
I was indicating that
you just
55 will be going up.
Yeah.
But also, is it possible to charm undead things that you can't? Can you?
It depends, I think is the answer.
I'll read the damn spell.
Depending on the spell. If it's charm person only affects humanoids. It's not a given that you cannot. Like, some undead will be immune to the charm condition, but not all undead de facto are. But there might be limitations on the particular effect you're using. But if not, then it just depends on whether the creature is or not, which is there's variable. Very.
I'll read the thing. It should probably tell me all of this. Thank you.
After 55, it is the zombies. The one who you've seen emerge, just to put that out there, is going to haul itself out of the pit. What's its movement speed like? They're generally not great. Oh no, it's actually fast. Okay, so we have the fast zombie syndrome. So this one is going to haul itself up, which does cost it some of its movement, but it's going to move towards. The group as a whole, just because you're all gathered together, but it is going to go for veracity, having been thwarted in its efforts. It is going to make first off a claw attack. I should say, now you can see this thing properly. I described the creature at the end of the room, which is different, like it's not one of the zombies. So there are definitely similarities because this creature has a lesser number of these grubs. They're not moving in the same way as they are on the other creature, but they are attached firmly. They have this sort of sense of that kind of parasitical clamping on and a faint luminescent glow to them. This one is going to, come forward and make a claw attack against veracity, which is a 14.
That is my armor class.
That does hit, I'm afraid, which means it is some amount of damage. I should probably roll. That is 7 points of slashing damage. It is going to use its as it gets 2 attacks. It is going to use its second attack to attempt to grapple you, however, rather than attacking with its claw.
That's nice.
It has rolled it's an athletics check contested by your choice of either athletics or acrobatics.
That'll be a +2 instead of a -1, please.
Yeah, that's good. Number to beat is 17 in this case.
Well, it was a 9.
It's 9. So it makes its first claw attack, but rather than pulling back the arm, it uses it to pull you forward and kind of steps in and grabs you by the shoulders. It's got a little bit of movement left, so it's essentially going to dive into the nearest pit. Like, you can all see this, you're all there. Who's closest? Who went through the door first? It was Barter, right?
Yeah.
Barter, you're close enough if you want. You can use your reaction to take an attack opportunity.
When you say dive in, you mean dive in whole with veracity?
Oh yeah, if you're grappled, then the creature can move you at half its movement speed.
Nice.
Wow. It's nice. It's real nice.
I can't try.
I love starting with combat.
That just sets the tone really well.
Yeah, I can't try and catch them, can I? As a reaction? Is that only attacks?
Yeah, the rules as written is just a straight attack. I think for simplicity's sake, let's say you can attack it on your turn. You can definitely try and do something about this later. But yeah, in response you get this like opportunistic swipe.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got my longbow at the moment.
Oh, true. You can make an unarmed strike if you want, but it depends how good your unarmed attack is.
Can I just switch to my short sword?
Have you got it out? Would you be?
I haven't got it out.
Yeah.
I haven't got it out.
I think in this case, probably not. You can use an arm because you need both hands to use a longbow. So
just try and punch it.
Yeah, I mean that's perfectly valid.
I guess yeah, that's all I can do. I'm really sorry. What's that? Is that just a straight roll?
It's you are proficient. It should be on your unless you've hidden it manually. There should be an unarmed strike option on your character.
Oh yeah.
If not, it is your strength modifier plus your proficiency bonus.
Oh it doesn't say any bonuses. It just says you deal 1 plus your strength modifier.
So for unarmed strike, it'll be whatever your strength modifier is plus your proficiency bonus, and if you hit, there's a flat damage on your strength modifier.
Well, that's a natural 20.
Cool, great. In that case, I am going to say you can try and grab it. How's that? I mean, how much damage do you deal? You'll deal double whatever it says on your sheet.
I deal
probably isn't great.
4 points of damage.
Oh yeah, I'm going to say
that's double.
That is double. Yeah. How do you want to? What is your plan by trying to stop it?
Is it diving in, or is it something?
It's pretty much just like it's just doing it's using its body weight more than anything else. Like mechanically, it's using its movement, but there's no reason for it to like step cautiously. It's just pretty much doing that kind of dolphin dive sideways off. Or penguin dive. That's what I'm thinking about. A very sort of upright body, just sort of tilting over the edge of the pit.
It's decomposed, isn't it?
Partially, yeah. It's not in a terribly bad state considering.
She's just gonna try and shiv her fist through its collarbone,
Sure.
like plant it into the wall. So it's like hanging. She's on the floor, hanging, like acting as a coat hanger for the zombie.
Yeah. Excellent. So I'm going to say it does not enter the pit. It's used some of its movement, and it's effectively over the pit, kind of. But neither Veracity nor the zombie make it into the pit.
For clarity,
yes.
If the zombie let go, would Veracity fall into the pit?
I'd give you a saving throw, but you could, at the moment, yes. Until you've had a turn to move yourself, then yeah. But I'd let you make some kind of saving throw to catch yourself.
Cool. So Veracity's being held by a decomposing zombie over a pit of death.
Yeah,
she's cool.
Having a good day. Yeah.
Right. Veracity is screaming.
Bonus.
That is the zombie's turn. From the other end of the room, this other creature is going to move. It similarly is relatively fast. It moves 30 feet forward. It seems to have no problems navigating the walkways above the pits. It is now about 30 feet away from you because it was 60 feet before. It is going to, again, who's closest? Probably Barda in that case. So yeah, I think through pure opportunism. Oh no, the range, I apologize, the range on this is not good enough. In fact, it's going to use its action to dash and get within melee range of all of you, but it's dashing instead. And also, relevant detail, the wounds you've dealt to, which I forget everything that was there. There was an arrow wound, there was some searing
Scorching Ray.
Scorching Rays, thank you. And I think Viorica did a spell as well, I forget what it was. Regardless, the various wounds it has suffered, you see its flesh trying to knit itself together, but it doesn't quite close. The burn marks from the scorches prevent its regeneration trait from functioning this turn.
Fire damage.
Which brings us to Valka.
Yes.
Come on, grab
I'm just trying to think if there's anything clever I can do that would negate its regeneration, but I don't think Valka is that talented.
Fire is the thing that stops
Valka is
you.
not talented in the medium of fire.
We do already have a fire person. I don't know what.
We have two fire people.
Well, indeed.
Fire is other people's realm. I will leave it to other people to deal fire. What Valka is going to do is Ring of the Ram that mofo back to whence it came from.
All right,
push it away.
Push it away. Okay.
Remind me how Ring of the Ram works.
Come on.
I can. It forms a spectral ram's head. I have 3 charges that I can use per long rest. It recharges daily at dawn.
Yeah, so
days
you'll have
passed.
full. Yeah,
I love that.
So that's fine. So I can attack one creature I can see within 60 feet of you. Spectral ram's head, and I make an attack roll. And for each charge I spend, takes 2d10 force damage and is pushed 5 feet away.
All right. How many charges would you like to load up into this thing?
So it's currently 30 feet, did you say?
It's currently up. It uses action to dash. So it's moved right up to. I think Barda is the closest, but you're all very close because you're all clustered by the entrance.
I don't think I can push it far enough away. Like in my head, in the head cannon, it would be a lovely it ran forward, but Valka just kind of charges it straight back. But obviously we cannot do that far.
Push it in a hole.
Yeah, I could try and push it in a hole.
That might regenerate it more.
Says all the voices in Valka's head.
At the moment,
frozen moment. There is, yeah.
Sorry.
I do it too.
I'm gonna do 2 charges.
All right.
I'm gonna do 2 charges.
So it's an attack roll.
So it's 2. Wait, hang on. So I only need to roll 1 d20, but it's
the charges stack on the one effect, but they determine the magnitude of that effect. It doesn't make it separate attacks.
With a +7 bonus. Ooh, that is 24.
That impacts. So then it's 2. How many d10 force damage?
2d10 per charge, so 4d10.
Cool.
D&D Beyond.
There's a pink dead.
It's not looking good.
Is it down yet? That's a 20 points of damage.
It is in a bad way. It was in a bad way when you found it, but it was in a bad way. So it gets pushed back 20 feet. Is that right?
And get 10 feet. 10 feet.
Okay. I will make a saving throw to it to see if it potentially falls into a hole. It has passed, so it stays standing. You roll a natural 20.
Cool.
So it is
That's what you roll natural 20s for?
Yeah,
That's fine.
just little trip checks. Very anti-pratfalls here, it turns out. Oh my God.
I probably should have raged before then. It wouldn't have made a difference to the
It wouldn't
damage.
have affected the damage for that, no, yeah.
Yeah. Then I also will rage, and Valka is just making sure she is firmly between that thing and everyone else.
Cool, yeah, you can step past Barda if you want, because that's the nearest. The Barda and Veracity. The Barda Veracity zombie cluster is the nearest sort of creature, so you can interpose yourself if you wish.
Weirdest breakfast cereal ever.
I'm picturing so from the door, they're a bit further in, and the creature is just the other side of them, and Valka just did a charge, but as she got close to them, it turned into a jump, so she kind of just leapt over them and punched straight into it.
Cool, and it goes staggering backwards 10 feet. Yeah, it narrowed. Well, actually, no, it rolls a natural 20, so it stays completely solidly on the precipice, the walkways, but gets knocked backwards with a sort of faintly confused expression. Because it's a humanoid. It was once a human.
I'd be pretty confused if my grandma just leapt across. Grandma leapt across a room with a giant spectral round head.
Nah, my grandma would be like, that is standard. She's a cool lady.
Cool. We're back to the top of the round, and it is Viorica's turn. Are you clear on where everything is?
Not quite. So we're kind of in a line, as it were.
I sort of have you in my head. You're kind of you sort of bunched in at the door, where some of you sort of half in, half out of the room. 355 is hovering pretty much just directly above you, about 15 feet. There is this sort of human chain of Barda holding a zombie, but with sort of fist holding a zombie, who is holding Veracity on the edge of one of these pits. Further off past them is Valka. I will one day get that right, but not today. Valka, and then 10 feet beyond her, or 10 feet or so beyond her, is this other creature.
Fine. In which case, I think I'm going to try and press our advantage. So the thing that Valka just rammed,
yes,
I am going to point at and toll of the dead.
Toll the dead. I believe that is a wisdom saving throw.
And it is missing its some of its hit points, right?
Yes, so it will be d12s of damage if it fails, which I think it does. It's an 11. Yeah, it must fail.
Yeah, it's got to be 15. So that's going to be 2d12s. Awesome. There we go. And my computer is taking ages for some reason.
Suspense. It understands suspense.
It's trying. Yep, exactly. 15 points of damage.
It's got so few hit points left.
It is just a toll, but it's also the thing of Viorica going, "Take that, you bounder!"
Very much staying on brand there. It doesn't know what a bounder is. Doesn't really. It's just increasingly confused and angry. There's a lot of strange things happening to it, which are outside of its experience. Any bonus actions? Any movement? Are you just staying put?
No. I think. No, I think I've got a plan, but it's going to be for later.
All right.
I'm going to do that.
Which means we'll go on. Yeah.
No, saying that surely a zombie is. It always sounds sort of slightly outraged, doesn't it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's an element of indignation. Yes, just by
always in a zombie.
Barda, it is you next. You are, as mentioned, sort of hanging on here.
Yeah, I'd quite like to get Veracity. I'll use my action to help Veracity up. I don't know if that's an escape, a grapple, or climb, or something. Just generally help Veracity.
Veracity's next. You can definitely. She is grapple. I tell you what, you can use your movement because I'm sort of in my head. You're kind of half grappling this creature. You can use your movement to sort of haul them back out without expending your action if you want. So they're not. So that if dropped, Veracity will not fall, but is still held. You can use your action to help, and Veracity on her turn can use an action to escape the grapple, which is
as a free action. Veracity can just go, "I've got a plan. I'm fine. Do another thing."
Okay, yeah, I'll use my movement to pull it out.
Yeah.
and stand up and start shooting. I think I hunter's marked the big one, didn't I?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
The big one.
The big one.
Yeah, I'm just gonna use. Yeah, so I'm gonna trust. I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, and then just get up and pull out some arrows and just start the big zombie that's
Falca's
hopefully
gonna
gonna
duck
die
a bit.
soon.
Yeah.
So I've got precise aim, he said before he rolled.
I like that. Portentous. Fate tempting.
Cool. Here we go. That's a 2 and a 20.
Wow.
Well,
you win so, you lose so.
Take the 20.
Oh yeah, no, I got 2 attacks.
I would say.
on balance. So I guess
2 better not hit me.
no. I think both arrows go whistling past Valka's head. One of which is slightly too close for comfort, but is not actually going to cause. It would be impressive, kind of the brushing past your hair kind of thing. Except, I guess your hair's tied up anyway. But brushing past your ear type thing. Except that it goes on to clearly miss. The other one would just aim further away from you. It's got a point. So that can be just straight past the head trick shot.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Like,
it was a sight.
Yeah. So what? I've got Hunter's Mark. So how many dice do I double?
Hunter's Mark adds. If you roll a critical, all the damage dice of the attack, you roll twice. So how much does Hunter's Mark add? D6, 2d6.
A d6.
D6. Yeah. So you roll 2d6 for that plus 2 or whatever you roll for your attack normally.
Okay, cool. Okay, awesome.
It's got 8 hit points. I'm going to guess.
Easier than I thought. 10, 17, 21 plus 3.
24. Yeah. Feel free. You impact this thing. Are you aiming for the head? It's not very clear what is animating this thing.
I was like panicking and just like pulled out 2 arrows, shot them, not realizing that Valka was there. And it's like very definitely tried to miss one, and then the other one is just pinned right past into the eye. She was going for both eyes, so that it'd be like that, but she's only got the one eye. So it's just like,
does the job. This thing slumps backward. Like it's like all the life goes out of it instantly, and it just falls like a sack of potatoes back into the pit that it had been knocked towards. And I guess it will kind of sink. I get the weight of it is enough to drag it down into this mossy vegetable matter. But it disappears for now from view.
Can I bonus action change my Hunter's Mark? Is that how that works?
I'm pretty sure that it is. If you kill I think Hunter's... Hex is the one that you have to die. I think Hunter's Mark you can just move as a bonus action, yes.
Well, then I'm just going to bonus action change my Hunter's Mark to the one that's got veracity.
One that's right there.
Like, no.
Cool. It is veracity next. You are no longer in danger of falling into the pit. You're still grappled by this zombie.
Grappled just stops me moving, right? It's not.
It reduces your speed to 0. It doesn't really have any other impact.
Great. Well, I was gonna whack out my good old wildfire spirit, but it doesn't quite seem worth it now. So I might just, and that means I can't use its teleport function, which was the plan. But no worries. I'm going to stay grappled, and as an action, use Burning Hands just at first level to turn around. Well, ideally, I definitely want to get, it's a cone, a 15-foot cone. I ideally want to definitely get the zombie holding me. But if I can, I'd want it to spread to where the first creature's dead body is, just torch that a bit.
I think that has to pass through at least Valka, probably Garden as well, to go that way, because it's...
No, I won't.
I think one of them has evasion.
Rusty is quite stressed, but she's not going to set Grandma on fire just yet. Okay.
No. Not today.
Not today. She's seen Valka pinch someone's tongue. She doesn't know what would happen if she set her on fire. Okay, in that case, Veracity will just look up chirpily, attempting to be chirpy at the zombie behind her, and just put her thumbs together again and shoot some burning.
Doing that at point blank range is such an image. It's amazing.
It can actually it just be she puts her hand against its face.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Full on.
I like it.
I should actually cast a spell, maybe. You need to make a dex save. That's how we like it. You have to roll.
Zombies famously good at dexterity saving.
And George famously good at rolling.
Well, yeah.
It's going to be really good.
9.
Good. You fail. You fail. So that is 3d6. Doobie 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 doo, doobie 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 doo.
Does it get set on fire by burning hand?
It says fire. The fire ignites any flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried.
I'm going to say desiccate. I guess it's quite mossy, so maybe yeah. Well, we'll come to that.
That is 14 points of damage.
Is just about enough. So you, I mean, there is a sort of scream from it. You realise not from the creature, but from these sort of 3 or so little worm grub things that are on it. So there's a sort of that kind of like. As this thing
like the slugs from Flushed Away.
I haven't seen it, but I'm going to say yes, because if you've leapt to the reference that quickly, then why not lean into it? Yes, there's this like this sort of insectile terror as this creature expires and is burnt. It is smouldering. You get the sense that the creature, like a lot, there's a lot of moisture in the air down here. Lots of this sort of composty greenhouse type feel to it. So you're not sure it will keep burning for long, but the zombie husk is aflame for now.
Is it still holding on to Veracity?
You're not grappled anymore, I think it's fair to say. So you can also stand up this turn. Anything more from you?
I think as a bonus action, Veracity will just turn to Barda and be like, mingled pride and terror and disgust.
Yeah. Next up is 355. You're hovering 50 feet in the air. There are no visible targets, but conspicuously we are still in combat.
Interesting. I guess I will shine my light beam that's coming out of my eye around the room. Have a bit of a fly further into the room and see if I can see anything.
So are you happy to make? You can use your action to make a perception check if you wish. You can do something else if you wish.
Yeah, why not? And I guess I'm like looking into the pits and stuff to see if I can see anything. That's nat 20, so 23.
That's excellent. Well, you can.
4 nat 20s so far.
Just stacking up.
Wow.
You can see. So a couple of things. I mean, in combat, there's not time to scrutinize some of these things, but they're in some of the pits towards the end of the room where the creature was originally when you found it. Some pits there are empty. In the bottom of one of them, there is a body wearing some kind of robes that does not appear to have any grubs on it, not even one. You don't have time to scrutinize that. You can see 2 of the pits that are full of matter further in, same direction between you and that wall. They are moving in such a way that a creature might emerge from there imminently. Like you pick up on that there are 2 more of these zombies hidden, who will probably not stay hidden for long, but you spot where they are.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to fly over towards one, and I'm just going to chuck some Scorching Ray at it.
Oh, you used your action to do a perception check, I think.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Have you got any bonus actions you can do them? But
no, anything useful, I don't think.
Do you want to hover near them, or where do you want to end up?
Yeah, I'll hover over near them, shining my kind of highlight, spotlighting them.
Everyone's going to see this
my
very
eye torch, ever bright lantern thing.
You're like one of those sort of like a helicopter, like a sort of like a police helicopter, a news helicopter, just like.
Yeah.
355's grown like the little beanie, like.
Inspector Gadget style.
Yeah. Conveniently enough, it is the zombies, and next 2 of them burst forth. There's a sort of sympathy cry from the grubs on them that match the ones being killed, and they burst forth from their hiding places. They're both between you and that back wall. There are 2 of them. One of them is going to go. They're closest to Valka and Barda, so they're going to go for one of you each. So they come right on in. The first one is attacking Valka. Firstly, with a claw attack. That is a terrible roll. An 8. That is it's exactly the same. It's also an 8. From this, one of the grubs on them detaches and leaps at you.
That's not okay.
It's not okay. It's not even a little bit. You have to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, but I can see it. So don't throw a con saving. That's the wrong button. That would have been a good roll. I get advantage. Can I go with the con saving throw?
What is your total?
It's a 13.
Oh, 13 is enough. It is a low saving throw, to be fair.
Oh.
It zooms straight past you. you dodge. You get out the heck out of the way of that thing, which is fair because that's a hell of a surprise when you're trying to focus on not getting hit by claws. This thing goes sailing past you. It lands on one of the tufty piles of matter. It's still visible. It's on top. It's sort of loose.
Is it like screaming still?
Pretty much. Like it's that slightly like. Like they're not very loud. They are tiny.
How big? Like maggot sized.
They're a little bit bigger. I think they're sort of like. I'm thinking about this sort of big, like sort of fat grub. They're more like they're
decent Mars bar length.
I mean,
God.
That's not only not the way I've it's not how I've chosen to describe it, but yeah. I mean, why not?
Are you okay? I thought I was going to be bad with this. Are you all right?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm maybe playing it up slightly for effect.
Okay.
This really doesn't like Mars bars.
Oh, really? Hideous thing. Oh, sugar.
The other one is going to attack Barda and is going to, amazingly, I've rolled another 8. Oh, and a natural 20. There we go. That's the fifth natural 20 of the session. So it's completely, it's feast or famine over here. So that is, it's 7 whole points of slashing damage, and the same thing is going to happen to you. One of these creatures is going to, one of these grubs is going to launch itself at you, requiring a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
I'm gonna spirit shield that.
Oh, cool. Which reduces the damage?
7 points of damage.
7 points slashing damage.
Awesome. So, how much?
Barda's alright though, isn't she?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
She's alright.
Oh, yes.
Steady.
So 7 points of damage. Take that on the chin, yeah. And then I rolled a 11 plus 3 is 14.
14 on dex. Yeah, that's enough. Yeah. So again, this thing misses you. They're not very fast. They're surprising and startling, but they're not very well aimed or dexterous.
It's the screaming.
One of these things loose. Yeah, it gives it away, but also it's kind of horrifying. And that is the zombie's turn, bringing us around to Valka, who is you're standing next to one of these things.
Yeah, I feel like Valka is not intelligent enough to do the thing that I just thought of.
Maybe play out however you want. She's probably battle canny, so it depends on how you want to lean on it.
Well, it's whether she clocks the connection between the bugs and the creatures, and I'm not entirely sure that she's intelligent enough to have done that.
Up to you.
In the moment.
Up to you.
So
go with it if you want. You practice some dealing. You've had practice dealing with pests, presumably, from your farming background.
Might be wise enough.
Yeah, I suppose. That's true.
Mars bar-sized grubs. God, I hope that doesn't happen on the farm every day.
How many?
Sure.
How many are on the creature that is in front of her?
The zombies each had 3 visible ones. Now they have 2 visible ones.
Mm-hmm. Is it a waste of an action though? I'm overthinking this. She is gonna pick the zombie thing up and just shake it.
You're trying to do what? Trying to loose the grubs, essentially?
Trying to shake the bugs off, and yeah.
All right. I think I'll call that a grapple check to initiate. Does that sound fair?
Do I add a modifier to that?
You use your athletics check if you were initiating the power opposed by. Look who's not rolling terribly.
Oh God! What's a 9?
It's a total of 20. So it's you try and get a hold. It is surprisingly strong. Like for all that it is a quite weedy looking, slightly desiccated husk of a creature. There's a surprising amount of force within its limbs. So it pushes off your attempt to shake it. That grappling replaces one of your attacks, so you will have either another attack or you can try it again if you want. I don't mind that.
And I'm just going to attack it.
Kill it.
Yeah. Alright, I'm just going to attack it with my axes.
Hit it with an axe.
Hit it.
And so that is a 13 and a 14.
So
no, a 13 and a 21.
13, 20, they both hit. I assume that's your attack and your offhand attack
My
as well.
bonus,
Yeah. So they both hit, so roll more damage for each.
So there's an 8, and then one without the bonus. Oh, it's still a 6. So that's 8 and a 6.
Cool. It takes these. You're hacking at it again. It's one of these creatures where you're used to maybe fighting creatures where their structural integrity matters to an extent. This seems to sort of care less about chunks of it being carved out by your axes. It is taking damage. I'm not implying it's resistant to damage. You've done some good damage. Top of the round, it is Viorica.
So 355 hasn't revealed anything about the extra zombies yet.
Oh no, they've both the zombies have emerged from their bits.
Ah, okay.
Visibly highlighted by, and I assume 355 is just pointing their beam, light beam.
It's like a very low budget thriller.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. In which case, now, how far are they away from everybody else?
Pretty close, within 15 feet of the group. Valka and Barda are slightly further that way, and each of them are next to one of these zombies. But the group of you are like only 15 feet away.
Okay, so I'm just going to suggest something and see whether it would work, because what I would like to do is use my movement to get, as it were, in between them, and then do a thunder wave. But is that gonna affect other people specifically?
You're gonna hit at least one of Barda or Valka, depending. I think you can, if you're willing to hit one of them, you can get both of the zombies with your thunder wave while only hitting one of them. But yeah, if you're targeting both zombies just because of the way they're laid out, you're gonna catch at least one.
That's what I was imagining. If I could go behind them, as it were, could I go through to the other side
go
into a
round? You'd still, I think, what's the range on thunder wave? Is it 15-foot cone?
It's a 15-foot. No, it's a 15-foot cube in a weird way.
I think because everyone's quite close together. If you're targeting more than one of the zombies, you're going to hit an ally.
That makes sense. I'm happy with that. In which case, so there's still 3 zombies.
2.
There's only 2 left because right. Gotcha.
As far as you know, and again, 355 roll the great perception roll. As far as you know, there are no more.
No, that's fine. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, what I mean is I'm going to, in which case, charge forward and attack one of the things with me sword cane.
All right.
That's my plan. And I've got 2 weapon fighting, so I get to do 1 and then an offhander.
Yes.
Viorica has 2 weapon fighting. I was not expecting that. That's amazing. That's positively martial.
That's what I mean. He has put the time to, after sort of coming out into the adventuring world, he has gone up to people and gone, "Can you possibly help me?" They don't do it often, but it's very nice when they do. So the first one is a 24.
That hits, yep.
Which does... which does 7 damage.
Gotcha.
And the second one does... is 14.
Yeah, that hits. Yeah, very low AC. Very low AC.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And roll again, you son of a bitch. There you go.
When you say you have 2 weapon fighting, do you have the feat that lets you add your modifier to your offhand attack, or is it just that you are fighting with the second weapon?
Well, because you remember that my... But do you have any feats or other traits that let you add your damage bonus to your offhand? You get to attack with it regardless, that's fine. Yeah, no, I get to attack with it, but it's I don't get the +2 damage.
Fine,
so
that's it. Yeah. So what was your damage from that second one?
5, so 12 in total.
This thing is in a very bad way and has very few hit points left.
Excellent.
Barda.
Which one did you go for? The
That's
one
a good question. Which one did you go? I applied it to the one that was already damaged, but you can choose differently if you wish.
The archer would definitely be attacking the one that was already damaged.
Right, so the one that's 5 archer.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm still in combat with the one.
Another one of these things.
Why not? Hey, whatever, innit? We're gonna have a long rest soon. I'm gonna cast my last spell.
Your last?
Yeah, for first
Yeah,
level.
ranges only get half the number of spell slots.
Oh,
I've got
so
second level spells still stored up.
Kicking around.
But yeah,
Okay.
Zephyr Strike means that I don't take attacking opportunities. So bonus action cast that, and then I'm just gonna yeet backwards 30 feet.
Yeah.
And
Yeet.
plant some arrows in its face.
Cool. Is there any other effective Zephyr Strike? Or is it just
you can use it to end it early. You can use an extra damage roll. I'm gonna save that.
Let's see if it goes. Yeah. So you're targeting which one? The injured one or the one that was attacking you?
The one that I'm in combat with.
Make your attack.
Yeah. So Barda kind of becomes as she's like mumbling these spells, she kind of becomes like live shadows start to come off her body, and that makes it harder for it to be hit. And she just, as she moves back, it's almost like there's multiple versions of her in these weird like.
The flavour, it will try and go for you as if it were making an attack opportunity, but obviously it doesn't get.
And yeah, I've got two attack rolls for the old longbow. An 18 plus 8 will hit. Yeah. I'm guessing. And an 8 plus 8 will that hit?
Yeah. Yeah. 18-10. Yeah, 18-10 is terrible.
Oh, sweet. So that's 2d8. 6. Cool. That is 16 points of damage in total from the 2 arrows. And she's going to be going for the same thing. She wants to make those beautiful arrow eyes.
I think you get it. It doesn't. Again, it doesn't kill the creature outright, but you get it. You get that. You get the effect, and it takes a bunch of damage. But it's still clearly like it's not necessarily being driven from the head, as it were.
Yeah, Barda giggles to herself.
Yeah, it's probably right on that midpoint between comical and just horrifying that it's just functioning completely with these arrows there. Veracity, it is you are close to these things, but you're not in close range with either of them.
Yeah. But they're both within 25 feet, right?
Oh yeah.
So Veracity does an audit of the amount of energy she has remaining for casting spell slots, and the amount of healing she might possibly need to do, and decides therefore to cast Shillelagh.
Yes.
My favourite cantrip, and I haven't got to do it yet.
Awesome.
And who's engaged? So Bard is stepped back and is engaged with one.
Yeah.
Viorica's with the other.
Oh yeah, Viorica and Valka are both on the same one.
Oh, then that one's dead. I will go and take the one that Barda has.
All right. What does your shillelagh look like? How does it work?
So it's my staff. Veracity has a little staff that's cut to her very small gnomish size, and it has, as you can see on the gorgeous Hero Forge thing, it has a kind of chunk of, is it crystal? Is it wax? Who knows? In the top. Which, as she casts it, it glows and then starts to spill wax oozing around the staff.
Yes.
Is fun. And I think if she hits an impact, then sparks fly, but we'll see if I hit first. So if the AC is 10, I think I need to roll a 1 for it not to hit. That was not a 1, it hit. So that is 1d8 plus 5. Where are my d8s?
Wow.
Where are they? There they are. That's an 8, so that is 13 points of damage.
Okay, that is a solid hit. It is still up, but it's again in very both of them are on their last little very little wiggly legs.
And just for flavour, because Veracity normally stays back and does spells, there is glee. She is gleefully thwacking. I think she'll kneecap it if she can, because that's about what she can reach.
Sure.
Awesome.
For effect, it drops to one knee and is its sort of arrowy face is just briefly quite close to yours.
Took a shillelagh to the knee, doesn't have quite the same ring to it.
I feel like is it the thing that you bent the knee backwards 90 degrees the wrong way? That's why it's gone down.
Oh, yes.
You like? Yeah.
Yes, she does that.
Again, considering doing this to a creature and not having it exclaimed in pain is quite odd and unsettling, but it drops down in that regard. You have the bonus action movement, so you're 355. You're still hovering above.
I'm going to. These things are both looking in a pretty bad way. Yes.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go for the one. Scorching Ray.
You can split.
I've got 5 of them. So
5.
Yeah. So it's 5 small balls of fire.
They're both looking roughly in the same level of bad shape.
Wow.
Then I'm gonna begin. Can I just fire one at? See where we're at?
On the spell, I think they're simultaneous, but whichever makes more.
It doesn't say. It just says you create 3, but because it's leveled up, 5 rays of fire and hurl them at targets within range. You can hurl them at one target or several.
I'll happy for you to do them. Yeah, it says simultaneously on magic missile, which is explicit. So I think I'm happy for you to do it sequentially if you wish. Yeah.
So let's do one at each of them. So I just rolled a 19 and a 20. So I'm assuming they both hit.
Yes.
So the 20, let's say, is the one in front of Veracity. So that gets doubled. So that's 13. Yeah, 13 damage to that one.
13. Give me 1 sec. So that is reduced to 0 hit points, and I need to make a saving throw for its undead fortitude trait. I did not succeed. So that one is destroyed.
Good start.
The other one takes 7.
Okay, that one is still up at the moment.
So I fire again. That's a 19 to hit.
Yep.
And that takes another 7 damage.
So 7, I'll bring it to 0. I'll make a constitution saving throw for undead fortitude. I'm rolling very badly. That is destroyed as well. So you have spare fire.
Send it to the pit.
To be fair, there are 2 grubs visible. They haven't, like, they're not very fast, so they're not going to get to you very quickly.
Oh yeah, if there's 2 grubs visible, then grubs. Yeah, I'll send one at each of the grubs.
Yeah, I think it's almost impossible for you to miss them. I mean, not that it was really possible for you to miss the other ones, but I think that yes.
12 and a 13?
Yeah. the grub's AC is 6.
So one is 7 damage, and one is 12 damage.
They are both squished.
Incinerated.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's just me hovering, and again, it's like the kind of the scorching ray fireballs come out of my sides. It's like panels in the side of my body just open up and then I just kind of fly down and
just casual.
Next to everybody.
Yeah.
Calmly.
You like jazz?
How about some burning jazz? Yeah.
And the combat is over. You have destroyed all the threats in this room.
Nice.
What?
Is everyone all right?
I'm a bit scratched, but I'm fine. Is anyone a bit more than scratched?
No, I was not touched. I did very well.
Likewise, undamaged.
Yeah.
So good.
Are you all right, dear? She says to Veracity.
Yeah, I got like you can see a cut on her arm maybe, but like I got a bit clawed, but I'm fine. Psychologically, we won't discuss, but physically, I'm fine.
And we're definitely sure that all of the other pits are empty, yes?
I think we should burn what's in the pits.
355, you feel you did a quick scout in combat? You feel, I mean, your perception roll was good. You feel like if anything were, unless it were quite well hidden, you'd be aware of it, but you're not 100% sure either, so...
I mean, the pits are slurry, poo, liquid poo, right? So
they're more like in various some of them are, but like it's various stages of composting. So I don't think it ever gets like proper liquid. Maybe some of them are, but mostly it's a sort of different levels of packed and decomposed matter.
I could not see anything else dangerous, but I believe there is a body in one of the pits that I think we should investigate. Definitely not set on fire.
Understood. He's good. Well, do you point at it?
I head towards it, I guess.
Sure. It's towards the back, at the edge of the room where the spawn of Caius, as the stat block is called, was originally.
Veracity will just pipe up with a. I don't really want to look at another dead body right now. Do you mind if I go and have a look in the poison room and just see if there's anything useful?
Of course.
I promise I won't touch anything or set anything on fire. I mean, I might touch things, but I'll be sensible. Dead. Yeah. Is that okay?
No one is going to mind if you destroy anything in here, I don't think.
Yes, in theory, but I don't like the idea of you going off on your own.
It's only over there, and I will yell really loudly if anything bad happens.
I'll go with you.
Or Barda can come with me.
I'd feel much more comfortable. Not that I doubt your abilities, Veracity. You are an incredible person, incredibly skilled, but I think safety in numbers.
Barda, if you want to look at a dead body for fun, then that's fine. We can wait.
I've seen my fill.
Okay.
Let's go see some weird-ass plants.
Yeah.
You head. The corridor is about 30 feet long. As mentioned last time, but to recap, there's on this corridor, which runs between this room and another room, with a similar rickety door. On the right, you pass the way you came through, which is a sort of a corridor through to the tool room, and then beyond that, the stairs up to the forest above. On your left, you pass the rather more ornate stone door with a central keyhole. Marked with various swirling sort of vine patterns on it, and you head up there. We'll come to that in a minute. For now, in the decomposing room, the decomposition suite. Yes. You, those of you who are saying, so who wants to see a dead body? I mean, that's what.
I'd go over. How deep is the pit?
The pits, they're about 10 feet. Let me confirm that I'm correct. They're about 15 feet deep.
I'd just fly down there.
Sure.
I would. You could lift it up to us. Is that?
You can fly.
I'm having a look. I guess that's what I'm working out.
Right. So the zombies and the smaller Kairos, which was inhabiting a body in a manner similar to a zombie, they had a certain I don't want to use the word moistness, but I'm going to. There's not a word for it. They had a certain
damp.
Much like this room, which is, I say, quite humid and it's full of this decomposing stuff. This corpse is actually desiccated. Like it's dried up. You can't really tell at a glance how long it's been dead, but it's definitely either it's died unnaturally or it's been here quite a while. It's wearing some kind of ceremonial black robe and has sort of pouches and pockets on it. You reckon you could move it carefully? It is at moderate risk of disintegration if you move it, but you would think you could try and it might survive the process. Endure the process.
Check its pockets, says Viorica.
I mean, I have rope if we want to actually go down and investigate ourselves as well, Viorica.
Doesn't look. Yes, let's do that.
I check its pockets then.
All right. Valkyr and Viorica, are you trying to descend as well?
I'm happy to. Yeah.
Cool.
I think Valkyr would probably let Viorica go down first, to not in a chivalrous way, just in a.
I understand.
I'll let you finish going down before I go down, just in case.
Yep, very fair enough. Do I need to do an acrobatics check?
Particularly if Valkyr's holding the rope, not really. No, we're fine with that. So you both descend while 355 starts the investigation process. Make an investigation roll, 355. Like there is in my head, there's a ceiling of stuff. You're not going to miss stuff if you roll terribly. You're not going to miss obvious stuff if you roll terribly.
14,
fair enough. The pouches contain, there's a couple of things that are of interest. The pouches, there's clearly a point on their belt where it's sort of the equivalent of a keychain, like where there would be a key attached, you think, but there's not a key there right now. In one of the pouches, there's some the standard amounts of like pocket lint, a few coins that you don't recognize, like they're made of recognizable material, like silver and gold, but they're not like stamped in such a way that you recognize it. Like, yes, these are gold pieces or dragons. They are wearing there's also a single die, a D6 if you want to be specific, but like a sort of an old style game die in the pouch. You're a 14 investigation, yes, fair. They're wearing and by this point the others will be down, so you can see this as well. They're wearing a surprisingly nice, I mean, particularly given the state of the rest of them, quite ornate gold choker with wide enough for a sort of an intaglio, like an etched gemstone. It's like a cameo, but carved into a gem at the center with the likeness. It captures quite well the likeness of a beautiful elf of indeterminate gender in such a way that they have this sort of. They're clearly beautiful, but in a way that even looking at it, the artist has captured it so well that you feel it is fleeting. There's a fleetingness to it, like a moment in time that's already been lost.
And this is a desiccated corpse, yes?
I mean, the rest of it is, yes. This is the sort of the jewelry they wear around their neck.
Is it possible to tell from the length of the corpse what the body type, the creature, the species?
Make a medicine check.
Length of the corpse.
Yeah.
Well, is it like gnome size?
Right. It's definitely larger than like halfling gnome dwarf kind of territory. That would be recognisable off that, but.
That's a 14.
Okay, yeah, they are either human or something like a half elf, where it's hard to tell without close examination, something like that. Yeah, you don't think they're an elf, but you're not 100% sure.
Yeah.
trying to be as respectful as possible, Viorica wishes to remove the choker thing in order to, considering that it's not going to get back to whoever this person is here, he's going to take it in order to try and return it.
Yeah, you can take it off easily enough. It's not difficult.
That's cool. In which case, can I put down gold choker in my...
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
If you want to be fancy, you can put intagliate choker, but that's a...
You want to be really accurate, you can put cursed gold choker.
I'm waiting for that. We'll see how that goes. How do you spell intagliate?
INT. I can never spell words out loud. This is I wrote it down, but I can't see it. I will tell you later.
That's fine.
It's got G's in it and T's in it and stuff. Yeah, it's intagliate like lasagna. I think that's how you do it. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Cool. Anything more? Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, being the dreadful fabric whore that Viorica is, he may well see if he can take the. If you say that the robe is a very nice.
It's it's definitely a ceremonial robe. It's not. It's definitely like. It's not necessarily. It's hard to tell now. It's not fared as well as the jewelry has. The jewelry is also tarnished a bit. It may have been a bit nice, but it seems mostly functional.
Okay, cool. Wow.
It's not intentionally plain or intentionally like that sort of cheap in materials either. But it is some sort of mid-range functional, but designed in a sort of. There's a certain sort of stamp on how it's designed that marks it out as something like a uniform or
yeah. That's what. So I want to have it as a sort of. Given that we have no indication of who this person is apart from the choker, I'm thinking that the robe may be recognizable to somebody, and that's why.
Okay, you try to take the whole robe.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to make you roll on. I think that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
The other characters are welcome to react in context if they wish, and Viorica can justify what he's doing in the same way you have.
When we say the whole robe, we're not just talking a cloak here. We're talking stripping a desiccated corpse completely.
Potentially. Yeah, again, if you like, I'm aware we're like, yeah, you're welcome to have that discussion in character if you want, or we can move past it or not do it. That's perfectly fine. Because it is like dicey territory, even if the intentions are.
I'm very aware that what I'm doing.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
I'm trying to be as respectful as I possibly can, whilst at the same time not really whilst he's pulling the thing off. There's a bit of a sort of. It's not an enjoyable thing, but he's trying to get. He thinks it would be useful.
Yeah, I think Valka would need Viorica to explain that to her. Otherwise, it's just an awkward. Right. Well, I've got to wait for you to get up the rope before I can leave, and I'm just stood here watching you struggle with this. So I'm going to need you to explain why this is important, I can help you do it, so we can finish it quicker.
Thank you very much indeed. The only reason why I wish to do this is because I feel as though this is the only recognizable thing that we have found here. There is a person and holding up the choker. There is a person on this choker.
Yes.
And I would wish to return this choker to them. Neither the robe. Sorry.
I would agree. I think that's a noble cause.
Thank you. This is what I mean. So the only way that we are going this robe and this choker are not going to get back to anybody if we leave them here. Therefore, if they are with us, then we can at least take them back to a more suitable resting place.
And we think the robe is necessary as well, do we?
Only because all we have is this choker. If we have the robe as well, then it's two identifying signals for whoever it is we might find. Not only that, but if it is, I do not recognize this robe. And I feel as though if we were have to inveigle our way into somewhere where this robe is more traditional, then one of us could maybe wear it as some kind of disguise.
George, that's a face.
Viorica is quite intelligent. I think it's the first time I've ever played a character that is quite intelligent, so he can think out these things, which is rather nice.
Yeah. I think Valka would, just very well, and she would assist.
Thank you, dear lady. And yes, so we can get that all done with a kind of
355 is not really reacting to that. They are kind of they're speaking to Doc in their head, I think, and asking, Doc, do you know why this corpse is desiccated while the others got turned into those creatures?
We'll cut that one. Just to check everybody. I think both Ed has articulated and Veronica has articulated the reason. Is everyone comfortable enough? Because I'm aware this is but yeah, I think it makes sense, and I think
I'm very willing to be stopped.
I wanted to check explicitly. Yeah, no, fine. I think I just wanted to check explicitly that everyone was if not happy, then like comfortable that the reasons make sense, and it's cool. Thank you. So you asked Doc if Doc knows why the corpse is desiccated. I always forget Doc's investigation modifier is +7, I think.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's 15. It's not immediately clear. I mean, there's sort of this place is a bit weird, isn't it? Like, goddess of death and goddess of disease and poison and the whole weird grub thing. I'm not sure offhand. Could probably spend some time looking at it if you want. It's not detecting of magic specifically, so it might just be a weird physical effect, or maybe they've just been here a long time and not being animated by those weird grub. Oh, they were horrible. The worm things. Like, no, maybe that's what the difference is. But no idea why they wouldn't have taken this one.
All right, thank you.
Cool. Anything else from the pit crew?
Just gotta finish sorting out these tires.
Maybe Orica pulls out a clean robe and starts putting it on quickly. Yes, no.
Yes.
No, I think Valka probably would just make sure that the remains were kind of left in a kind of a restful pose and were nicely placed. Before... We're not Weekend at Bernie's with this thing. No.
You respectfully compose the corpse. Yeah, it is. Yes. Moving it is tricky, but yeah, that's fine. I was going to ask something else, and it is temporarily gone from my brain. Oh, is anyone the dice and the other things in the pocket? You can leave them there, or you can make one.
Oh, I'm totally taking the dice. If I thought 355 had taken that.
I mean, you didn't.
Oh yeah, sorry. What was there was the die?
There's a single die. Again, it's recognizably like. It's that sort of I mean we all know dice sets. It has that recognizable look of being part of a sort of gaming set, but it is alone. You might recognize this sort of like a sort of I can't remember what the in-fiction dice game is called. 3 Dragon Ante. I can't remember if that's a card game or a dice game, but that kind of thing. It's recognizably from sort of one of those sets from the symbols on it, but it's alone rather than that you'd expect 2 of them for a game.
Okay. I think. Yeah, I'd just give them to Fiorca if Fiorca's taking all the other stuff as well.
Oh, why? Thank you.
The effects.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
Okay. While this is happening, the other end of the corridor. So, Barda and Veracity, you are. It's pretty much the same setup here, and unlike you have a hand up.
Yeah, I was just before we get to the other room. Mm-hmm. One of the things I wanted to check because I didn't think of it earlier was does the big stone door have any writing on it?
No, it has designs on it, but it's definitely like swirly vine patterns done in a kind of inlay. It's probably something like sort of obsidian or onyx, like inlaid, like you'd get like gold or other inlays, marking out these sort of dark vine patterns. Sort of nice. So it's styled, but it is not. It doesn't have writing upon it.
Right. Yeah, Barda's probably just as she's going by, she's probably just like looking at it a bit more.
It is not. It is like particularly given how this place has been here. This place feels old, but there's also that element of makeshiftness to it. Like, with the rotten curtains and stuff on the way in, there was an element of like this sort of impermanence almost to it. But this door definitely feels permanent, and it's the first thing you've seen that has like that kind of care and detail. Go on.
There was a keyhole for it, wasn't there?
Yes, in the center of the door there is a keyhole. And you reach the door. Yes, this one is as you successfully kicked down but put your foot through last time, quite a rotten-ish looking, flimsy but functional wooden door.
Just gonna open this one, I guess.
So I think it's going to be full of really poisonous things, so maybe don't touch things or shoot
I don't
an
take
arrow
a cloak
near
and just
them.
do that with her cloak.
I've kept some magic to look after us if we do touch anything, but just in case.
Can I check the door for traps then, just before
Sure.
we...
Make an investigation roll.
Can I help?
Yeah, make an investigation roll with advantage, or Veracity make an investigation roll as well.
Go for it.
Advantage.
I know the sound of that voice. It's like, please, yes, desperate, yes, yeah, advantage.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. that was a 1 or a 19. So take the 19, please.
Oh yeah, sounds good. Nice. Yes, no, you're expecting me to tell you what the result of your rolls are. I was just enjoying this. No. You can't see any traps. So honestly, there have not been many places to hide traps in a door like this. Like it's barely fits into its jom, and it is incredibly rickety. Which could be. I mean, the biggest trap would be like kicking it down would feel like a mistake for that kind of reason. But you can't pick up any. There's no mechanism. Oh, actually, to be fair, also Veracity, if you recall, had detect traps up, and you do not detect any traps from that either.
I mean, it's definitely down by now, but we did pass through.
How long does it last? 10 minutes.
She says confidently, I felt like it had a...
It's going to either be 10 minutes or an hour, I feel, unless it's like...
I thought it was really, like, instant almost.
Maybe it is.
Find traps. Instantaneous.
Interesting. Okay, so it's like a sort of sonar ping. That's interesting. Yeah, I guess, yeah.
It has a range of 120 feet, so it shows you instantly everything in that range.
So it's like call your shot type of territory. That makes sense, actually.
I like the idea that Veracity is like humouring Barda as well. Yeah. Oh, maybe.
To be fair, this would have been in range when you... Oh, no, I guess it tells you on, you're confident there are no traps present on this door.
Yes. Thank you, Barda. I would never have known.
Friend. After you, my darling. So she opens the door for
who opens the door?
I do.
Oh,
that doesn't sound good.
I opened it for you.
Okay, I will let Barda with all her many hit points take it.
You open the door. There's no effect from touching the door. It's fine. The room beyond is, as much as the other one is kind of a compost decomposition room, this is like a greenhouse. It is, I'm not going to tell you how big the room is because it is incredibly packed with plant life. Like, it's overgrown. Like, you can barely see. You can see about 10 foot in, and that's about the limit of your visibility. It's like a riotous collection of different types of plants. You've got these sort of weird red ferns, these sort of odd potty, they're sort of pitcher plant type things that are violent blue, and it stinks. It absolutely reeks of decay, more so than the composting room. Like that smell of like that kind of that earthy, sort of moist earth, like that smell. What you expected. This just absolutely reeks of something between like plant decay and actual like non-plant being death. Like it stinks.
So, first things first, Veracity will Druidcraft, again, which I'd assume could do anything that's small and cool. Salt spray smell underneath her nose and Bard's nose.
Yeah.
And then, it was only a few minutes ago in Veracity's life, so can she remember when the pings went off? She had the, like, mild poison pings of this room, and then there were, like, some intense... bottled poison pings.
You did that from above. You did your walk around with to detect poison and disease, and you've had it running down. You still got it running down here because I think when you went down, maybe you did. I can't remember.
I don't think I set it off down here because I think you kindly ruled that I remembered where stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. You roll a really good investigation roll. So this room was the one that you were just in, as kind of makes sense. You detected strongly one poisonous creature, which is the spawn of Caius. Here was lots of sources of poisonous plants. Like this makes sense. This fits with what you've seen. Like most of the things here, you think are poisonous, if not all of them, and you recognise some, but not all of them. There was definitely also a strong, intense source of a poison being here, like a distilled, constructed, created, like intentionally created poison somewhere, probably in the middle of this room. You can actually, with your good investigation roll from before, it's somewhere ahead of you between here and the far side of the room. But actually, I just keep adding more information. You probably have a good sense. This room is about 100 foot square because you walked the boundaries before upstairs, and you can work it out. Essentially, echolocation using the plants, assuming there's not just like a weird stopping point where all the plants just cease to exist. It's about that size. And the sources of poison are somewhere directly ahead of you. You can't pinpoint that.
Is there an overgrown path, or is it just a wall of plant?
It's pretty much a wall of plants.
Okay. Does Veracity know, could Veracity work out, if it's like you touch any of them, you dead, or if it's like, the bulb, the blossom, the dripping?
It's more like that. This room shouldn't be actually dead. There may be dangerous plants within here. In fact, make a nature check and see what you...
Oh, okay. That's +3. 21.
21. Most of these are safe for humans in this form, safe for humanoids in this form, in the sense of like if you ate some of them, that would be bad. If some of them cut you, then maybe. But mostly, like there's not an active risk of just being in this space. That may change if circumstances change, and there may be some weird specimens within that are different. But for now, you can walk through it. You're not going to sort of be breathing toxins in the same way.
I think for us, he doesn't relay this information. She turns to Father and goes, "Every plant in this room is poisonous," and then walks in.
Awesome.
Great. And then she walks in after.
Cool. Excellent. What are you making for anywhere specific? What is your plan moving through this room?
So I definitely want the vial or whatever it is of concentrated poison.
Yeah.
I might also look for and collect if I can. If there's any like. Veracity's not really into poisoning people with their food, but they are going somewhere really dangerous and unknown and mercenaries and things. So if there's some kind of obviously thing that could be collected and be kept stable, like a bulb or a flower head that she knows or can work out is poisonous if ingested but stable to carry kind of thing, she'll pick up some of that kind of stuff. She goes for future use.
Usages. Yes, I mean with your 21, you are confident that there is enough stuff with a bit of time to collect the samples, because some of it will be you can get it stable, but it might be scraping individual pieces off barbs and that kind of thing. You can definitely gather the resources to later prepare an ingested poison. That's perfectly fine. Other types, if you want, like this is a I don't know what the equivalent of a cornucopia, but for poison. It's that it's an intentional collection of poisonous plants that of all kinds. So you can look for other things if you wish. On the same token, you could, if you want to gather materials to prepare antitoxins or other things that would.
Oh yeah, that's much more of Veracity's street. She will also do that.
So you're comfortable that they are there. Go on.
Sorry. Also, Barda, do you want sort of things that you could dip your arrows in to make them poison people when you hit them? Because I could probably find some.
I think you're speaking my language.
Okay. So yes, I'll also look for bloodstream poisons.
Cool. Are you doing that first, or are you heading for the where you think the source of these prepared poisons are first?
I think it's a bit spooky in priorities, so she will go for super cool poison first and then pick up what she can on their way out, just in case an Indiana Jones thing happens once you pick up the poison.
Always do the important things first. Sorry, I completely blanked on which order you did them in.
Poison. Actually, I did, yeah. Barda, what do you think? Because we could get the important thing first, so we've got it, but also maybe if you pick up the important thing, it triggers another zombie or something, so maybe we should do that last.
Okay. That sounds like a plan. Barda's like just very casually looking, like very much like look, don't touch, kind of like inspecting you, like hands behind your back because she doesn't trust herself enough. Like inspecting her, just like yeah, okay. Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so I think what happens then, because Barda's been no help, is Veracity sets off intending to head beeline straight for the important thing, but then it's like, I just need some of,
cool.
And
yeah, so you start the collection process.
Starts the collection process. Barda, you'd love this.
Make a survival roll.
I can survive. I feel like I'm very proficient in surviving.
You are very good at it. Just as good as me, I believe. If not better.
That was a natural 20! So 28 for survival.
I'm just imagining you walk in, we can do the thing, and it's like, I'm one of these, and one of those, and one of these, and one of those. Some of it in theory should require delicate care, but I think Veracity's overcome with just excitement and does it in a way that is probably not very sensible, but actually pays off completely because your confidence lets you do it just well.
In my head, if it's okay, when you have kind of a 12-year-old family member or friend who's always been one of the kids, and then you're like, I'm going to trust you, we're going to treat you like an adult, and you're going to do this thing, and they are so like, yeah, and I'm going to do it really well, and I'm going to be an adult, and I'm really responsible at that, I think.
Perfect. So what you were looking for, like injury
edible,
poison,
bloodstream, and antitoxins.
Poison, and antitoxin poison. So you gather, with a natural 20 for 28, all of those things pretty quickly on your way. Like, you have enough resources to make at least one of each of those, or I mean, whatever the one unit is. We'll come to that.
When Veracity goes and poisons. Am I right that Nulka would in no way want any of these brought back to her garden?
Oh, they wouldn't. Like, she might be interested in principle, but
she's not going to plant.
She's not going to want to plant them in her lovely idyllic, I could almost call it a paddling pool. I guess it kind of is. A plunge pool, the pool.
Veracity then will take careful mental notes for Nulka, but not actually bring her back any samples.
Cool. Yeah. You get a lot of poison supplies. You get to the area where you think the poisons are, and it is pretty much a straight line from the door, but quite far in. Visibility remains exceptionally poor throughout, by the way. You can usually see about 10 feet in any direction, give or take, but beyond that, it's just foliage. There is a workbench in this space where you get to, which is essentially a little clearing. Like, there's been some attempt to clear it back here. There is clearly encroaching again on it. On the slumped over the table, sitting down, is another body wearing you haven't seen the other robe, but it's the same black sort of ceremonial robe, wearing a similar kind of belt. And again, they're a sort of humanoid of human elf, half elf kind of size without further investigation. On their belt, you do spot a key. Like, immediately you see a big old chunky key. And on there's various sort of papers and bottles and sort of that sort of alchemical equipment or lab equipment. I don't know why it's like alchemical first, but chemistry equipment, like things you and Veracity, you recognise this. You can use some of these. You can use them now if you wanted to help prepare the poisons. That's clearly what they've been used for in the past. However, the stench is much stronger here, and you've got a little, but it cuts through your salt spray a little bit. So you go, it's much worse here. And from above you, there is this sort of. And there's a sort of exhaling as this part, what you've taken initially for part of the ceiling, part of the plants above you, moves and sort of just drops, almost lazily, drops down tentacles to sort of reach down to the floor and just float there for a minute while it takes in. And we'll deal with that after the break.
No! What? No!
I was coming.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Cool, fantastic. We'll take a 5-10 minute break. We'll see all of you back in a minute to find out what the heck this is.
Yeah. I mean, not emotionally prepared for that.
Yeah, no, this is a place of soft horrors and dark horrors and just general foliage-based horrors. Cool. Yes, thank you. We'll see you in 5 or 10.
Awesome.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to part 2 of episode 6 of Seekers of Elturel. Buried. Before the break, things were happening. There was a fight in the compost room, and Veracity and Barda were checking out this room full of poisonous plants, sort of underground greenhouse. And they just discovered this workbench with a bunch of like poison making supplies and other things and a body on it, and this horrible chittering sound came from above as this plant creature sort of lowered itself slightly from the ceiling towards them and extended its horrible proboscis, tentacles things down towards the ground in a kind of that lazy fashion of this sort of ambush predator. Just seeing what it catches. We will probably roll for initiative in a moment, just to establish what's happening with the other group, the pit crew, the crew who are in the other room, who's staying behind sort of body. I'm assuming by the time this sort of entering the room investigating has happened, you are wrapping up there already, conveniently. I'm happy to say that you're like out of the pit and just like making. I mean, what would you do after the pit? Were your plans to rejoin the others anyway?
I think so, yeah.
For Valka's sake, she would have been interested in going to the plant room anyway, but felt like she should have stayed. So she was torn as to which one she was going to go, but felt she should. So she definitely would have been going. Cool. She wanted to see the plants.
Yeah, I mean it is exciting and terrifying. So for the sake of convenience, we'll say that you were pretty much reaching the door of the decomposting chamber at the bottom by the time we reach this point. I don't know whether either Barda or Veracity would like shout an alarm or do anything that immediately alerted you. I mean, you tell me.
Well, Veracity did promise.
Yeah.
So I think Veracity will have yelped, which then turns into a Falcon. This is me shouting very loudly.
Yeah, that's fair. So at the time we roll for initiative, you will all be aware that something's up. There's something happening.
Has the door closed again behind them?
Oh, it hasn't closed. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think unless you intentionally closed it would have shut behind you.
I checked, George. It hasn't landed on us.
It's still on the ceiling. Like it's just sort of like extending itself downwards in the response to new things are here, and
slow creepy.
Yeah, like it's definitely aware of you. Yeah, it's not like poof.
Okay.
Get to that. So it's still up there. It's still sort of like 15, 20 feet up, sort of attached to some of the plant structures.
Directly overhead.
A little bit ahead of you. You weren't standing too much. Actually, no, you were by the desk, weren't you? Did you go over to the desk?
Yeah, I did.
Overhead, yeah.
Scale. Sorry, I can see it.
No, it's important.
Scale-wise,
it is a large creature, which means that it is somewhat approaching like 10. It's a 10-foot cube exactly. No, it is a roughly round sort of shape, but it's got buds, and it is a plant-like thing, but it is large. So it is roughly that kind of scale.
It doesn't say like you don't hear a voice on the wind going, "Feed me."
Now you do, yeah. If anyone speaks plant, which some of you actually might, if with the right spells, yeah.
Suddenly, Seymour.
Cool, and that is the point we will roll for initiative. If you could all.
Yeah, don't give it a name. Then we're going to feel bad after we kill it.
Oh, I'm not.
I think it depends a lot on how it behaves, doesn't it? Yeah.
Oh.
Cool. I do love the silent. Without seeing the dice rollers, I like hearing the commentaries from players. I'm trying to. There's always something with an initiative roll. Anyone got higher than a 20? Yeah, 2 people terrified and quick off the mark. What have you got, Barda?
I got 21.
21, and Veracity?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Veracity's there. Cool. Anyone 15 or higher? Yeah, Valka.
Yes! Yes, Mallory!
Yeah.
I got a 17.
17. 10 or higher?
13.
13. And Viorica?
2.
Order has been restored.
Yeah.
I got 5 in total. No, it's fine. I think he just. Yeah.
Oh, 5 in total. Yeah.
He's looking at the dice or examining the choker, and then suddenly he hears, "Oh my god!" and has to like concentrate, which he wasn't expecting.
Cool. So up first, appropriately enough, this fits nicely. Barda, and I'll put it up on the board. That would be helpful. Barda is first. Yes, I don't know if you would have wandered directly. You didn't necessarily need to go over the table, but you could have done. I assume you're in this clearing as well and can see this creature.
Yeah, I think Barda shouts something, profound. Something like, "Oh, fuck this!" and pulls out her short sword. Gonna bonus action and use it at a higher level because that's the only spell I've got left. Searing Smite.
Searing Smite.
So extra damage. The more. And yeah, just with the short sword, I'm just gonna stab this thing.
Oh, it is off the ground, so you have to you can leap off the table if you want. You have to come up with some way of getting within.
Oh, yeah, could I jump onto the desk? Would I be in cutting distance?
It'd have to be like up on the desk, jump, go for it, and then land successfully. It's about 20 feet off the ground, which means you can sort of boost yourself up there temporarily at least. Or
I think in that case, I probably won't cast Searing Smite.
Yeah, because that is a melee attack specifically. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna pepper the shit out of it with arrows.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's
worked well for you so far.
Yeah,
I pull out my bow and just start firing arrows into this thing. I think after the first one, I can activate Favored Foe, which would give me an extra d6 of damage on the second attack.
Yeah, that's triggered by hitting with an attack. Perfect.
Cool. So the first one is a nat 20.
We're stacking them up today. That's good. Yeah, I mean that.
I'm pretty sure I've got 3 so far.
Yeah.
I'm a bit shook. It's just a d8. It's just a d8. 5, so 10, 13 points of damage. And then the second roll has now got Favored Foe.
Yeah.
So that adds a d6 of damage. And that was a 14 plus 8.
14 plus 8, 22. That hits. I mean, I'm assuming it does. Yes, it does. Good. We have a problem if it didn't.
Awesome. And that's a d6. That's 6 plus 3, 9 points of extra damage.
9 points of extra damage. Perfect.
Yeah, she's just loosing arrows. And then I don't think I can use my bonus action for anything useful.
My Favored Foe might even be that. I'm not sure. But
no, it's just you use it once you cause damage to a creature. You can then add your Favored Foe to that creature, which acts as a spell.
All right. So where are you standing? Are you in this kind of clearing in the middle? Are you directly underneath it? Are you a little further away?
I think Bard is playing it smart, even if it is risky, which is leaving Veracity to deal with it and just causing as much damage from a safe distance. If one of them gets grappled, then the other one can still attack it.
Yeah,
is her thinking. She's treated Veracity less like a child and more like somebody she'd work with.
Wow. It is Veracity next. Yeah.
Yeah. So Veracity's thinking big. I'm going to go with because she was having a really nice time doing really well, and then this plant, the squid, had to come and ruin things. How tall is the room we're in?
Yeah, it's similar to the composting. It's about 30 feet high, but the foliage presses down to about 20 feet.
That's all I need is 10 feet. Veracity casts Call Lightning.
I see. I see. I mean, first off, describe how this appears when you set this up, and then tell us how it works.
So it appears. I've given so much more thought to the flame-based things than the not flame-based things, but lightning is basically fire, right?
Causes fire, yeah.
I feel it's channeled through her staff, so the tendrils of wax that have hardened from when she uses shillelagh kind of glow. Veracity's eyes, like the flames appeared sometimes before, like her eyes glow again with like those little flickering flames, and then from her staff, lightning erupts from the top to make a storm cloud directly over. Oh no, it's attached to the ceiling, right? So
sure, yeah. So it sort of hovers. I think I'm just reminding myself of the spell, but I think it sort of it fills a space in the room.
Yeah. So. But is the plant creature attached to the ceiling?
No, it's lower down than that.
Okay, because I was thinking otherwise you'd have to let me do it
across the foliage, yeah.
Great, so I will pop it above the plant creature as long as I can see a space above it.
Got it, yeah.
And then could the plant creature make a dex saving throw, please?
Plant creature's famously good at dex saving throws.
You might roll well.
I'm going to use the big dice. I did not roll well.
Good. I'm gonna give you. And Bard is not within 5 feet, right?
Oh, creature, no.
Yeah. So I get to roll 3d10 lightning damage. I like druids. I like wildfire druids.
Real good.
Where's my other D10? There it is. And Barda, this is the closest you've seen to Veracity just losing it. Like, she is scared. There are dead bodies everywhere. And that's a 7, a 7, and a 10. So that is 24 points of damage.
24 points of lightning damage.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's concentration. So the storm cloud stays there.
Yeah.
Crackling ominously.
Ready for more.
Yeah.
Go on.
Sorry, this is just a flavor thing, but I love the idea that it's you know how the lightning lights up the underside of the cloud that it's coming from. If you see what I mean.
Yeah.
I love the idea that it's whenever Veracity says anything, that light plays up along the bottom of the cloud.
Oh, I love it. I think Veracity will turn to Barda for her bonus action because there's nothing mechanically she can do and just be like, I am so fed up. I've done things. And with every word, yeah, this lightning crackles.
Disco lights.
Flaring up. Next we have Valka. Valka, you're at the other end of the corridor. You can get to the room with just your movement. If you wish, you can dash to get all the way to this area. You can try and do something from a distance, but your vision is going to be limited by the foliage. But if you dash as well, you can be there.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna dash as soon as she hears the shout, the cry.
Falca goes charging through.
Yeah. I did want to clarify. So the door was open, right?
The door was open. Yeah.
Fine.
But you wanted to
She doesn't close it and then bust through it.
It's the added effect. Anything is your bonus?
If you want, the door could have been closed.
No, it's fine. The door was open. It's fine. It's fine.
We all know you could have done it.
Yeah. That's the point, right? You know I could. No, I'm going to save the rage because she's quite far away from this thing, and it might, unless it does crazy attacks through all of the distance of the room.
Which, knowing George, it probably does.
It's unlikely to be the
You're out of reach to where its tentacles have dropped to, but you can see it now. You're in this clearing.
Right, hang on. So I run in. I'm the far end of the room. Have all the plants in the way, so even if I
you can just that's it. You can target it based on sound, like I'll allow that, but it would you can't see it from the edge of the room. If you have anything,
is the plant life in the way to the extent where if I threw something, it would just be blocked?
Oh no, you could throw things through it. It will complicate matters, but the impediment that it offers is the lack of vision. It's not like a hard barrier.
Fine. Well, in that case, Balka's going to run into the room and mechanically, again, it's going to be another javelin, but for flair's sake, let's say there's like some gardening tools.
Sure.
She just grabs and throws it in the general
Hurling a trowel.
Yeah. I mean, you could have said like a gardening fork, you could have said a hoe, or no, just a little trowel.
Yeah. Hurled with enough force, they can really hurt, I can tell you.
Ooh.
That was a terrible roll.
Yeah, a little bit. Anyway.
What did you get?
That was a 10, so...
10 does not break its... Again, it's not... It is a big, squishy creature that is not... It has more health than it has armor, but it is more than 10 this time.
Yeah.
So, you do not break through.
And then... Again, bonus action, clock that's be like, why is it raining in here? No, not raining. Why is it like why is there a storm? Hello. Okay, that's fine then.
That explains everything.
Veracity's here.
Good storm, not a bad storm. Okay, that's fine.
Friendly storm. Don't stand too close.
Yeah, that's true. 355, it is you. Similarly, you are at the end of the corridor. You can move up that far, and if you want to do things that don't rely on sight, you can hang there, or you can keep moving. Or you can move faster.
Okay, so yeah, I use my movement to get into the room. How
long does your flight last?
It's only 10 minutes. So I'm assuming
no, I think it's not been that long to get through all this. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's still.
It'll be the end of its time, but I think that's what I meant. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. If that's still functioning, then I will. I know I can't move any further.
You've got what you could with your flight. Was your flight? Oh, is your flight speed 30 feet? Or is it?
Yeah.
60? Okay, fine. I guess. Okay, yeah.
I get that. 30 feet.
Yeah.
So So I think I will take 2 shots through the foliage at the sound.
So disadvantage on the attacks, but otherwise go for it. This is with your heavy crossbow or your heavy crossbow finger guns.
So the first one, at disadvantage 18 to hit.
18 to hit, that will hit, yes.
Let's just do the second one.
So I should say, we're using there's a new D&D Beyond feature where you can see the people's dice rolls from the campaign, so we can sometimes see them on our screen flashing up, but we're still announcing them because otherwise you at home cannot see them. Yes, thank you. So
the second one is 7.
Yeah, they both hit. Yeah, that's good.
Cool.
I think the storm makes it perversely easier to target this thing because just follow the sound.
So that's 14 and then 13, so it's 28 damage.
Yep. So for those of you in the clearing, you just see projectiles whizzing through with surprising accuracy from this range, just tearing through the brush and ramming into this thing. They sort of stick there, both the trowel and the crossbow. I guess the bolts might disappear because they're magical rather than anything else, but they sort of stick into it. It's reacting to these as if in pain. It's sort of thrashing around. Its tentacles start to thrash, and they're reaching around as if searching for whatever's below. Anything else, 355?
No, I think that's all.
Sweet. In which case, it is the turn of the creature. First off, as its bonus action, a part of it opens like a bud, and there's a kind of liquid that pours down, and with it, a body falls and stands up. It animates a zombie. It's not the same as the zombies you saw in the other room. There's none of the there's the sort of grubs attaching to it. However, when it opens up, Veracity, you have an alarmingly good view of this. You can see that this creature has some of these grubs attached to it. They seem to be dead. They're sort of crushed up, but this thing is not healthy as plants go. In fact, what's your nature modifier like?
+3, I think. Let me double check. Yeah, +3. I'm proficient.
Yeah, cool. So that's it. This kind of thing. You think it should be a plant creature, but it has a sort of pallor to it. Like parts of it are off and corrupted in some way by what you've now seen inside it. The zombie animates, and it will take a turn after this. It is a regular zombie, not the fancy ones from the previous room.
Sorry, Veracity's wise and was understood. Can I just check? Rebecca's got it. There's a big tentacle plant thing that has opened, and from within it, a corrupting zombie that's making the plant poorly has
you've seen the sort of this plant is in some way corrupted from the inside by this. The zombie is not the source of that necessarily.
Okay, but so the plant is looking unhealthy, the zombie is looking fine.
I mean, the zombie looks fine for a zombie. Yes, it's layers of corruption here. The creature is also going to. It is going to drop down. It's going to drop down to the ground. It doesn't land on you or anything because it mechanically doesn't do anything, but it will land next to you. And the stench of this thing is just awful. It'll attack you first, sorry, because it has a better option if it can stay out of reach.
That's nice.
No, it doesn't. No, I stick with what I said. It drops down. It is now, you're now within stink radius of this thing.
Do we need to do con saves and stuff?
Not currently, but there will be one on your turn. It is going to attack you with its tentacles. But how far out of reach were you?
I've tried to move as much as I could, so
fine.
Preferably 30
if you're staying within the clearing, it'll be like 20 feet is as much as you can get in the clearing. So it'll move so it can reach you with its tentacle to have a 10-foot reach. So it'll do one attack on Veracity first and see what happens. That is a 1.
That doesn't hit.
Does not hit. The second one is a 19. I feel like that one probably should.
Yeah, that might.
And the roll damage on that first. But the third tentacle attack is going to be at Barda. It's going to deal, that makes 8, that makes, max damage, 14 points of bludgeoning damage, and you must make a constitution saving throw.
Is that for the smell or for something else?
That is not for the smell, that is for the attack.
That is 14.
14 passes, you're fine. It's not poisonous. This is the kind of thing where you expect now, the barbs with the tentacles and poison, but no, this thing appears to have more of just decay about it, more than actual poison. So you avoided the extra damage effect. But that is a total of 20 to hit you, which I'm assuming hits, and you also need to make a con save. That is a 8. That is a... I can do maths in my head, can I? That is 10 points of bludgeoning damage. And the con save.
That's a 13 for me, con.
13 pass, does not pass, apologies, just fails. Which means you take an additional whack of necrotic damage. It comes in at 18 points of necrotic damage.
Extra 18, yeah?
Yeah, that is the spicy one.
That's 24 points of damage in one go.
Yep.
This is our third round of combat. This is...
it's already in a very bad way, but yeah, just try. It's good at hitting things. The zombie that it's dropped is going to attack Veracity.
Oh, good.
That is a surprisingly good roll. That's an 18.
Yeah, that hits.
You get a whole. That is 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's done. That's it. That's it. Viorica, it is you. You are currently at the end of the corridor. Similarly, you can use your movement to move into the room and go from there. And then if you have some way of speeding up, you can get further along. If you want to take an attack that doesn't rely on sight or doesn't mind sort of firing based on sound, or you can dash in some way.
Well, so if I get into the room, I can't. Well, no, because now that the beast has come down. Well, the plant has come down to the floor. I should be able to see it as I come in.
The room is packed full of plant. Like there's a clearing in the middle where the Valkabada and Rasti are, and this creature. Yeah. But other than that, the visibility is massively reduced by how pressed in these plants are. So you can cross through that, or you can guess based on location.
Do I need to? But I can't see this thing because basically the two things I'm doing are sight.
From the edge of the room, you will not be able to see it. You can, if you're using things that use attack rolls that don't rely on being able to see a creature, you can take it with disadvantage. But if it's a spell that says you have to be able to see it, you won't be able to unless you move further in.
Ah, I see. Okay. So, this is really difficult. I think I'm going to have to. I think I'm going to have to rush in.
Cool.
Then I'm going to have to dash.
Use your action to dash. Yeah. So you reach the clearing.
Yeah, but and then I really can't do anything because that's my action.
You've got bonus. Have you anything to do with bonus action?
No, this is the really annoying thing. The only thing I can do with my bonus action is healing spells, which is not a bad thing.
Inspire people.
Okay. Sorry, this just hasn't happened yet. Actually, no, Veracity very certainly. So what's going to happen is he's going to come and get through the door, run forward, and as he gets towards the clearing, he's going to go, "Good God, what is that smell?" And then see the chaos that's coming in, and go and he's going to have to sing at you. What's he going to be able to sing?
I thought that was the inspiration. I thought, good God, what is that smell? When Veracity feels inspired.
No, let's do that. Yes, but it's going to be done in a very tuneful way. What is that smell? Or something like that.
Veracity gains 1 inspiration dice, which is a D8 at this level, isn't it?
D8.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
D8
Marvellous. And that rolls us back to the top of the round to Barda. You're within 10 feet of the creature. Could you make a separate concentration? No, we'll do that. We'll come to that on your turn, actually, Rassi, but you have to make a concentration check for the spell that will do that.
Oh, yeah.
But Barda, if you can make a con save against stench.
That's a 14 this time.
14 just passes. Yeah, you make it. There's this moment where you just feel like the stench is so overpowering you're about to briefly black out, but you exhale, you hold your breath, you push out as much as possible and focus on where you are, and you are immune to this effect now.
But it's on the floor.
It's on the floor. It's within stabbing distance, as it were.
I'm gonna fuck this thing. I'm gonna bonus action Series Smite at 2nd level.
Yep.
And pull out my shield and my short sword and just go to town on it.
Tang.
Yeah, I get 2 attacks. Hopefully I hit them both. Let's do this! Oh, shit. So the first is a 10.
That does not hit.
No, it doesn't hit. But the second was an 18
that
plus
definitely
6.
Is. Yes.
Yeah. So
this is
it's
searingly smoked.
2d6 of fire damage.
Yes.
Plus a d6 of slashing damage.
Yes.
Oh, I dropped one. I don't even know where it's gone. Like, it's seriously dropped.
roll Adam up and roll one of the other ones.
Under the table. So it's 2 6s and a 1. So that's
13.
Yeah, 13.
Four points of slashing damage and 12 fire.
Okay, so it's 13 total. Yes, good. It is not doing well. I say that a lot.
Sorry, did you add the 3 of the...
Wait, so it was 13 plus 3 then?
Yeah, 13 plus 3.
16,
yes.
cool. Now I have
12 plus 4, yeah, 16.
Marvellous. It will find out on its turn whether it catches fire. Great. Veracity, you are next.
Yes.
So we need to we'll figure out the concentration, but just make the constitution save for the stench first, because that will render it moot if you fail that anyway.
15.
15 passes, that's fine. So just roll one other check, just because I can't remember what the damage was, but just roll a DC 10 concentration check.
DC 10 concentration.
Yeah, just from the damage you took on your turn.
It's an 18 on the dice, so...
You got your cool lightning is still up. All is well/exploded.
Dithering. How... Does the zombie look about as dangerous as the other zombies?
Less so.
Less dangerous, and the plant... Yeah, okay, in that case, we can save Waxy Boy for emergencies. And yes, as an action, I'm going to call down lightning again.
Boom.
So another deck save from Planty so-and-so, please.
That's I think it's a 12. 13, but I assume
fails.
Yeah.
Cool, so another 3d10. Oh, that's less good. That's 2 4s. Oh, and a 10. So 18 points of damage.
18 points of damage. Yeah.
And then as a bonus. No, I can't. Yeah, no, yes, I can, because I wasn't casting a spell this time.
Yeah, you're using an effect. You're not.
Yes, sorry, I planned this whole thing up and thought I'd missed that one massive rule. And no, I will as a bonus. Shillelagh it up again. Yes.
Sure.
So Veracity.
Marvelous. Valka, you're at the edge. I said it wrong before, but you stayed out right until you can move up now.
Yeah. Valka doesn't know why she's here, to be honest. They seem to have it under control. No, she's gonna run in. Rage, run in, attack with axes. Probably, given the fire seems to be focused on the big plant thing at the moment, she's going to go for the zombie.
Sure, yeah.
So that's a 16 and a 24.
Both hit.
Great. And that is for a 6 and a 9.
6 and a 9 is 15 points damage. Zombie is still just intact. You have a third attack from your bonus action?
No, my bonus action was to read.
Right, yeah, true, yes. But you will have hacked the zombie badly. I was really phoning in that description, but you can. Come on, heavy session, you go.
I hit it, and I hit it well.
It hurts. It hurt bad.
It has an owie.
355. It is you. I think similarly, you're still at the end.
I think I would fly up over the foliage.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can. You can pass through it as easily as you could by walking.
Yep. I'll just take another couple of shots at the large plant creature. How damaged is it looking?
Pretty badly.
Pretty badly. Okay. I'm also the first of my first shot. I am also going to Eldritch Smite.
Cool.
Which is, cool. So my first attack is 27 to hit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Which is 13 plus 48.
48.
Eldritch Smite.
Yes, that's my Eldritch Smite. So that's 33 damage.
I'm going to make the saving throw for it, as in there's a saving throw to see if it actually dies, and it fails that. Of course it does. This thing goes limp.
So I think the Eldritch Smite kind of, it's like a different sort of ammunition coming out of the same gun. Like the normally it's like a bolt of energy. This is a physical It's like a big solid ball bearing buzzing around with magical energy, just like embeds itself in the thing and blows up from the inside.
I mean, you blow a huge chunk out of the thing. You can see more of the inside exposed now, and you can see that it has more bodies inside it. At a glance, again, with there's still technically a zombie alive, but you can see some of them are wearing robes similar to what you've seen elsewhere in this small complex. The creature, however, is destroyed. The zombie is just going to keep on doing what it's doing and trying to attack Veracity with all of its massive... Yes, hello.
George, hi. I did it again. I'm not with it today, and once again, I forgot to add... I didn't bring it up before because I was like, I realised far too late, but I should have added an extra 2 melee damage with strength weapons per attack. Because I was raging, and I keep it. That's like the main thing raging does. And
that's why you do it. I've added the damage on.
Yes, that's an extra 4.
It down, but it is. Yes, it is. Hanging in there. It's going to attack Veracity with its slam attack. It rolls 1 because. And we just keep on moving. Viorica, you can see all of this.
If it's so damaged, could the slam attacker just try to just shake it apart?
You could definitely kill it this turn if you want to do that. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, it reaches out, slams, and its body falls away from its arm because it's got so little structural integrity left.
Well, okay, so I'll make an attack roll just to make sure I do some damage. But the thing is, I think it would be the thing that he's going to attack it with his sword cane and just go, oh, and it just collapses.
Yeah. We'll make that your attack. That's good. Roll it out because then we get the numbers. But
hang on. Yeah, that's 17 to hit.
Yeah, that's fine. Fine by me. You go forward. You make the lunge, as it were, and it's just in the process of just like falling away from itself.
I didn't do that. Was obviously so scared of me. I also only did 3 damage. So does that actually?
You got a second attack. It's fine. It's dead enough. It's dead enough. It's
a lovely bit of. Yeah, I can roll it if you want me to, but
it's absolutely no. It's not worth prolonging the combat for the sake of 2 hit points.
The other bodies in the plant, are they very clearly not going to come attack us? Or
they don't. They aren't moving. You can give it a moment and wait. Ready.
Am I giving another lightning bolt just in case?
Yeah, do it. Zap them. Go on.
I was just going to say Viorica's trying to put his sword away, and then another lightning bolt strikes. Jesus, what are you doing?
Helping.
Thank you.
And who's Jesus?
It's a name sometimes. I say I should have said Lathander, but I just too exciting.
And things are comparatively quiet again. There's definitely a spattering of ichor. Like this has been a messy battle between the sort of disgorging plant, or I guess it's actually undead rather than plant, disgorging creature, and just the zapping and blasting and exploding from the inside that you've done to it. Like, it's the stench has not gone away either. Like this is still a deeply unpleasant environment, I think, but you appear to be out of danger for the time. We're out of active threats trying to harm you.
Our Barda doesn't look very healthy, right? Oh, sorry.
No.
I wasn't saying anything useful. It's just Valka. It's fine. Please continue.
Barda doesn't look healthy. Does anyone else not look healthy?
You're the most badly damaged, aren't you?
Oh, Veracity looks quite unwell. Yeah, but
I won't worry about it. We're about to chill out. I think Barda's like. Oh god.
I might be about to play with poisons, so.
Yeah. Do yourself.
Yes, Viorica is going to come up to you and go, my dear madam, you are a far greater healer than I am, but you do look very sick. Would you like a hand, or do you have it entirely under control?
If you wouldn't mind, I don't have much magical energy left, and I might like to keep it just in case I accidentally poison myself. Would that be okay?
But of course. And he is going to... where is it? Yes, he's going to second level healing word you. I hope that's even vaguely enough.
Anything's good.
I gotcha. And that is... Oh, for pity's sake. Okay. he sort of he does the attempt to sort of lullaby again. It's like soothe, but he feels so abashed by the last time it was so pathetic that this time it only gives you 7 points of health.
I feel like if you're okay, he starts saying something beautiful, and then Varese just remembers the last time and gets a fit of the giggles, and it throws Viorica off.
Perfect. Yeah, which is why I managed to roll 2 1s on the 2d4.
Yeah.
That makes me. You could see maybe like one of the cuts heals up. That's really good. Thank you, Viorica. I really appreciate that.
Okay, he's very aware that he's not done as well as he should have done. But anyway.
Oh, I found the key.
I was going to say, Barda's just going to go straight up to that body, and she's not in a particularly bad mood, but she's sick of this like undeadness. She's just going to take a sword, plant it through the back of its head, rip the key off, then undo it, and they're like, that one's definitely dead.
And we're sure there's no more.
You can't. None of you with your past perceptions can hear anything. None of you right here have any sense of any imminent threat, motile threat.
I'm going to make a perception check around just in case.
Make a perception check, please.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
15 for me.
15?
14.
Yeah, again, this place is quite quiet. Even before the creature animated, before it was mobile, it's peaceful's maybe the wrong word, but the fact that this is underground in a forest, it actually is quite a calm place. It's just not been filled with nice things. But as far as you can tell, there's nothing else within this space with you.
If it's okay, I picked up some ingredients to make some poison, and it will be so much quicker with this really fancy kit here. So I know this place is awful and horrible, but could I maybe one person stays with me, and I'll be really quick, and then it might just help later.
I'm very happy.
Anti-poisons as well.
I'm very happy to stay.
Thank you.
You think it's going to be useful?
Well, I don't know. But if
poison's always useful.
If there's these bad people chasing us and they seem powerful and influential, and I don't know, poison's it's not kind, but I'm very small, so sometimes doing underhand sneaky things is useful.
Yeah, it's a very good idea.
Quite understandable, yes.
All right, shall we go see what this key does? She jangles it.
Yeah, it's hard to jangle a single key by itself, but you make a good go at it. Against yourself, yeah. It's like you're having a rave, like
with a single key.
Rave.
The sword's still got the fire on it, so she's just.
Viorica, shall we go with everyone else and see, so we don't miss out, and then we can pop back in here on our way out?
Yes, if that's how you wish, but I'm very keen to see these poisons made. I'm very interested to see how you do it.
I was actually hoping to stay in here for a little while as well. I've never seen plants that move in this way before, so I would quite like to do some further study.
Great.
Cool. So are you splitting up just briefly? I mean, you're not far away, like 15 feet down the corridor if you're going to open the door, but are you splitting up to do that, or are you waiting until various bits and pieces are done?
Although Veracity said that they were going to come with us and go back in.
Fine.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, sorry, that fits. You pop out of the room. Again, there's probably that element of like it being close pressed in by these plants and having had sort of one pop out at you in that way. You definitely have that slight feeling of like this could be more of them, but it seems fine for the time being. You head back down the corridor. This ornate door with the vine inlays, the sort of dark stone vine inlays, has a single large keyhole in the middle. Barda, you can fit the key in and turn it.
Yeah, just like it was their own door. Just boom, boom.
Something's going to pop out.
It's like turning the key is effort. Luckily, it's a large enough one that you can get just about 2 hands on the head of the key to turn it. And it is there's a sense of like it's got like grit and sand or something in it. Like there's a real sense of like resistance and grinding and that unpleasant feeling. You turn it fully through. There's the click of the lock disengaging, and the door will now open if you push it. It's solidly similarly like the door feels a bit wedged, but it's not such that it would require a strength check. You push your way through. This is go on, Viorica first.
Yeah, only just that he's ready for whatever's on the other side. It's that thing of like, come on, what's there? That kind of thing.
There's an empty room or a quiet room, maybe. It's a round. It's like a rotunda, like a sort of 60 foot across diameter-wise round room sort of tapering into the ceiling. The more observant of you will spot up there is an oculus, like a hole in the ceiling, which, based on the size of the room and the height of the room and the level of the ground above you, you realize should go through to the above, but it's overgrown with matter, so you could potentially clear that away from the other side, probably. Each of the walls, it is not fully round. I guess it is a rotunda, but it has sort of facets of it, like a sort of chapter house or something, where you have these sort of inlay, little sort of small pillars, walls that have writing on them, engraved, like it's sort of set up that way, each with a little sort of plate at the bottom, like a dish, some of which have some clearly quite dead now plants on them. There's a conspicuous other than those deliberately left things and the growth on the ceiling, there's a distinct lack of plant life in this room compared to the the greenhouse jungles of the previous rooms, and it has a definite sense. There's the silence in the other parts of the room feels much more singular here, like it's definitely a recognizable as a devotational space. You can't detect any threats. There's no other way in or out of this room other than the door you've opened.
Cool. This will probably be the ritual set.
Do we think that the lack of plant life in here is purely because of the door keeping stuff out, or do we think that there's something unusual or perhaps mystical about this room that the plant life does not want to come in here?
Arthur just smiles at Barker.
Okay.
I wonder. The thing is that there is this hole in the ceiling which the plant life does not appear to have come through. So it does suggest that there is something of a sanctification of this space or something like that. Bjorka wants to go over to one of the sort of dishes with the plants in that are obviously dead, but to see, can you do a perception check to see if it looks like they've been sacrificed, or you make
it'll be investigation rather than perception, but go ahead. Or religion if you prefer. I think you're actually better at religion, so I'm happy with that if you want.
Yes, I am much better at that. Okay, let's do that. 12. Which, given I had a +10 modifier, is not brilliant.
Impressive, isn't it? Yeah. You can't be absolutely certain, but they definitely look like cuttings that have been left here. Like, yeah, it's not a huge leap of logic to require a vastly sort of arcane roll. It is a logical deduction. You don't feel sure, but they feel like they have been placed there intentionally some time ago. Like if it's not been cleared away recently. Care has not been taken in this space for a while.
Is there any writing? Sorry.
I was going to say, I'm imagining I'm not. What's distracting me is the smell still, because I'm assuming that's still.
It probably does. Now that both doors are open, it probably does permeate. It probably doesn't quite cut into this room. No, it probably doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
cool.
no, actually, no. Given what this space is, yes, actually, it would. It does. It's not got the same. You can't quite cut the air with the feeling of how strong this is, but you have the whiff.
Yep. Okay. Cool. And so I'm not doing a very good job of investigating. Is there any writing?
Yes, on the various facets of the walls, there is carved in. There is writing in. Does anyone speak Primordial, for example?
Yes.
Then yes. Anyone who speaks Primordial, they are. Some of them are sort of litanies to learn, like stories, I guess like sort of like myths more so, like sort of stories of the goddess and her work. Some of them are more practical, like they're essentially sort of recipes for poison, that kind of thing, or like botanical things. So it's sort of, you don't get the sense that it is a like they're sort of things that seem important carved here to her particular portfolio.
Okay, yeah, I'd read those out loud for like Barda's like recognize the language and she's starting to like talk it out loud. And for the things like the poison, she'd be like, veracity, just in case, just checking. We got a recipe here and then she would list what the poison is and things like that for veracity, whether or not she knows it.
Sounds quite nasty.
Yeah, and then just goes through the stories and enjoys them.
Could Barda or Veracity, if she's being read to, get an inkling of what the poison specifically does? Is it straight death or
madness?
It's more. It's more a. I mean, it potentially yes. Like it's quite potent and can just drop them dead. But it's one of those. There's a special poison that takes effect at midnight. I think it's called midnight tears actually. Which does seemingly nothing if you fail the saving throw, but when it reaches the next midnight, I think you I have to look up the exact wording of it, but it is a nasty timed poison.
Amazing.
in terms of that's sort of like dotted around, but there's nothing in the middle or anything like that.
No, it's the most It's sort of a collection of things. It seems to be like there's not a lot of consistency between them, and you can see that some of them have been carved by different hands. Like it sort of just seems like a collection of things people have placed here.
It's not like a. You might have said this and I completely phased out. There's not like a central focus point with a hole to put the crystal in that's underneath the oculus, is there?
No, from what Torsten has said to you, it's not that this space was designed for that ritual. It's this space is a good fitting for that ritual, so you wouldn't expect it to be designed in that way. Speaking of Torsten, as you're talking down here, is it, hello? Like some from above the oculus, muffled by the plant life. Are you? Who's here?
Torsten.
It's us.
Torsten.
Are you dead? No, you can't be dead. No. Oh, below ground. Yes. Is there some kind
it's clear. Come down.
I'm a ghost.
Right. Oh, yes, very, very droll. Very good. Yes. I hope you're not a ghost. I hope that's the joke. Yes. No. Good. We'll be down. It is safe. You've cleared away everything. Yes. Nothing going to.
I mean, to our knowledge.
Great. That's good enough. I will
Take
be
care
down
of any plants you see.
I mean, there's rather a lot of those. I mean, the entrance is sort of overcrowded.
You're fine, they're fine, you're fine.
Good, marvellous. See you momentarily. Tromps away. Yes, go on.
Would it be really mean to hide behind some corners and jump out at Torsten when he comes down?
Yes, but it would be hilarious.
Yeah, can we do it anyway? Or is this the sort of thing that is not good?
No, let's do that. Okay, Viorica's really into this idea.
I'll be the distraction. You guys hide. I'll be out in the open.
Okay, Bardi, you be like crying because we all died, and then.
Viorica's totally down for this. Do we have to make a stealth roll?
Yeah. So, what are you going to hide in? Like which room are you going to hide in? This one, different one. What's?
Oh, I'm going to go behind the door in this room. In that case.
For us, I would like to hide. So when you came down the stairs, there was a kind of corridor branching into these three rooms. I'd like to hide like behind the entrance to the stairs. So
got it. Yeah. Both of you can please make stealth rolls.
I'm really glad, George, you had no like overarching plot for this campaign.
Just scaring people.
Boo at the NPCs.
18 for veracity.
18. What about Viorica?
I got a 12.
12. And Barda, are you trying to ham this up? How are you approaching this?
It's like when you're play fighting with a kid and they punch you and you're like, So I wouldn't necessarily say that it's intentionally good, but I don't think it's intentionally bad.
All right, make a performance roll. It's intentionally a lot.
If it can help, before Veracity hides, she will take some of the blood that's and just wipe it over Barda's face, just to make her look a bit.
As you do that, Barda's like, okay, maybe this was a bad idea.
Veracity hasn't had friends before. She is gonna milk this for all it's worth.
It's a square 14.
Square 14. As you like, what Valka and 355? What are you aiding and abetting, or are you just removing yourself from this whole situation?
You go first, G.
I don't think. I'm not sure. No, 355 is.
Has anyone explained the plan to 355?
No, I think just.
Maybe that's the thing. I think Valka probably was like on board until Veracity was like, and then pretend that we died. Hang on. That's a bit mean. So I think she's probably like halfway pulling 355 halfway down the corridor until she realizes that she's trying to explain what the plan is and the concept of just hiding, and it's supposed to be fun, but then gets a bit like confused.
I sort of understand.
I feel like 355 would be asking literally, what is fun?
Oh wow!
Oh, not that bad.
Oh, okay, good. As long as that's the case.
But maybe there's an issue with, like, maybe Valka and 355 end up kind of either caught halfway through the corridor or have to like in the shadows.
Are you giving yourself disadvantage on your stealth roll? Is that what it is? Or
no.
Or just trying to look natural? I think that's it. Let's roll some stealth. Disadvantage. I want to see what I want to. Okay, we can roll it without if you want. I want to see what.
I think 355 doesn't fully comprehend like what the point of this is or how it's meant to be fun exactly. But like, it's like okay, let's see what happens. This is a new thing. So yeah, it's stealthing. So 17.
Cool. 17. Falca.
8.
8, perfect. Yeah, no.
I was going to say that fits.
From up the stairs, Torsten goes, "Hello, friends, we're coming down, cooey." Like marching down the stairs. Oh, hello, Valka. Just doesn't really remark on it. It's like, oh, this is. Yes, I've read about the shrine a lot, but it's been disused for some time, and comes into the tool room, which is where you are, Barda, or are you further?
In the tool room next to the stone.
Oh my goodness,
door.
Barda, are you okay? You're in pain, or just dyspeptic, or I don't know.
Barda looks at him with like a deadpan face and just goes, Where are we? Lost him.
355 like steps out of the shadows. Hello, Torsten!
Torsten leaps a foot in the air and just like reels backwards. I'm going to make a save to see if he falls over. He falls over. He does that sort of stagger where your feet are moving out of time with your body and lands on his backside.
Oh my!
Among the tools, catching and clattering.
Was that fun?
Was it?
Barda's like clapping.
Goes to help Torsten up.
Veracity, if this has happened, Veracity's going to pile on, because otherwise she's just stayed hidden and it's weird.
He's just got to his feet when you leap out. Just screaming away. He's still holding on to 355. It does better. Like actually holds his feet with a good saving. What a good use of a natural 20, everybody. I'm assuming this is charming japery. Are there any more of you hiding anywhere? 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's Fiorica?
Well, Fiorica did die. That bit wasn't the joke.
Make a deception check. The thing is, oh no, this is awful. As soon as Fiorica hears that it's been claimed that he's dead, if you roll the deception check.
You're muted, Rebecca, I think.
17.
I think he buys it for the second. So what happens after that? He just like, I see you were making it a joke to numb the actual pain of lose. And
Fiorica then steps out from behind the door with his sword cane, doing the whatever the in-world equivalent is of the da 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 da.
Zombie Fiorica.
No, we're all fine. It's absolutely okay. Wasn't that... oh dear. And everyone is looking, I presume, rather sort of like downcast because they think that I'm actually dead.
Oh, certainly, Torsten and the Torsten and the Hauliers, which sounds like a band name, actually, now that I think definitely, yes. It's like, there's a roller coaster of emotions, and they just look like... Oh, I take it everything is fine?
Yes, absolutely. I'm so sorry. This was obviously ill-advised humor, which we will never do again.
It's okay. We can just go and have tea, and then commence the setup. Wait, just to be clear, you did clear away everything down here. That wasn't also part of the joke, and now that there are sort of
apart from that
horrifying
thing, and points behind.
He spins around. I guess he'd be holding like I guess he's got like a hiking pole rather than a cane or something. He points. Yes, you got me again, Barda. I would really like that tea now. Actually, I'll be upstairs. Just walks out.
Sorry, Torsten.
Oh, it's fine. It's important to.
There were a lot of zombies and dead people and plants trying to kill us, and a bit of light relief, but it was probably less funny. I'm sorry.
Group activities are vital for maintaining morale on long and difficult expeditions. I am a big enough dwarf to take the joke. I'm going to have a sit down now. And he sort of stalks upstairs, and you can all go and join him for tea if you want and take a short rest.
I feel like if Viorica was behind him...
a long rest now.
Can if you want, but we'll get to that in a second. So, Ed, what were you going to say?
It's only flavour. I was saying if Viorica's behind him and seeing like Veracity behind him, then he's got that look of, he's got church giggles, that thing of...
Church giggles, that's the best way of describing it.
It's the thing of like, I can't, this is too much.
Yeah.
Cool. And Rebecca, you going to say things?
Yes, Veracity will, and I think Valka wanted to as well, hang out in the poison shed for a bit and make her best batch of poisons and antitoxins and find that vial of mega awesome poison.
Yeah. So we will come to that in a moment. You can, yes, as you said, Lyle, you can take a long rest, but I think while there's other stuff going on, you can if you want, while Veracity's preparing poisons, you can take a short rest in prep for that if you wish. If there's no additional benefit, don't worry about it. But if you want to stack up on things, for those going to the poison shed, nicely named, which was Valka, Veracity, and Viorica.
Yeah.
The bees.
All of these.
You can find the poison vial fairly easily, Veracity. It's actually a potion of poison, which is sort of slightly distinct from a poison, and it is intended to be disguised as a potion of healing. Like at its sight, you could think you would call that, but you definitely detected it, and you can therefore take your time when examining the vials that you find. That to establish that this is a potion of poison, which is a ruse. Also stored with it on the workbench is another potion, a vial of a sort of dark, thick liquid that smells quite bitter. You don't recognize it to sight. You can, as with most potions, if you're not worried about cursed effects, you can tell what they do by sort of licking the bottle, as it were, or sort of getting a finger in it if you want to. Like that does come with risk, but it does identify what it is. It is a potion of watchful rest, which I definitely wrote down what it did, and I'm not looking it up on D&D Beyond right now because I definitely when you drink this potion, you gain the benefits for the. So it's a potion that when you drink it, magic can't put you to sleep, and you can remain awake during a long rest and fully gain its benefits.
Wow.
That's very cool.
So I've got a potion of poison. That was a potion of watchful rest.
Potion of watchful rest. It should be.
It is.
Right there on
I
Beyond.
love D&D Beyond. This is awesome. Okay.
Yes, and as I mentioned previously, there's a body kind of slumped over the workbench who you could just work around, or you can move if you want. Not quite as desiccated as the last one. They have a bit more. There's definitely a word for that kind of weird moisture that corpses have. I don't think it's lividity. Maybe it is lividity.
I think it is.
Lividity.
Yeah.
Veracity's way.
I think Veracity will ask Valka to help her lift it and arrange it respectfully and peacefully, and then Druidcraft. There's plants around. Can she use Druidcraft just to kind of... Because Druidcraft, if she conjures an image, it will just vanish. Can she use Druidcraft just to kind of weave a bit of a resting place? A bit of a, quiet repose?
Yeah. Like a sort of bed of plants almost in this kind of way.
Yeah. Obviously they'll be super poisonous, but she'll try and find
I feel like you've not got the impression that this person was like here against their will. Like they seem to have been their bag. So it seems, if nothing, fitting.
Cool.
Can I investigate before this happens? I don't want to try and sort of mess it up, but can I investigate the body for what it has?
Make an investigation roll, yeah.
Cool.
It's the same robes as we saw before.
Same robes as you saw before, yeah.
That's because that's the reason why I'm doing it, because it's the thing of I don't need another robe, but I want to see if it's got anything else. 17.
No, that's correct. They do have in a pouch actually, they have 3 dice, and again, this is a game played with normally 2 dice. With your 17 on perception, you definitely get the feel that one of them is weighted slightly. But they all match carefully, and they all match the other one that you found on the other body.
So that's four, as it were, D6s, but it's like so.
Yeah, it's a game played with 2, and there are definitely 2 normal ones that you found. But one of the ones you found in this corpse, it has a certain weighting to it.
Yes.
Otherwise, no notable personal effects, and you can put them in the nice sort of respectful position.
The other person drew the short straw or rolled the short dice, as it were.
Yeah, exactly.
While Valka's helping Veracity with the body and she's doing this, Veracity will turn to Valka and go, poisons, it sounds stupid, but poisons aren't very nice, and they're sneaky and they're not kind, and Nulka wouldn't like them. But I'm kind of thinking if we end up somewhere where magic doesn't work, and my magic's a bit unpredictable anyway, I can't do anything. I can't hit very hard. I don't have anything to stab people with.
You have no fire.
Yeah, but sometimes
it has to be magical, does it?
Yeah, and sometimes it goes a bit out of control. If I promise to use it as a last resort, do you think it's okay to have?
I think Valka puts a hand on Veracity's shoulder and says, just like my axes, poison is a tool. You can know how to use a tool for good or for bad. I think given the nature of this place and the potential nature of where we're going, I would feel a lot more comfortable having someone around who understands how all of these things work. And it's down to you on how you use them.
Okay.
I totally trust you, Rusty.
Thank you. And I think, it's funny to jump out at someone and say boo. I don't think it's funny to put poison in their tea.
No.
Good distinction. Very good distinction.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That makes me feel better. And Veracity will set to work and try and distill her planty stuff into poisons.
Once, I think just before she goes off, I think as they're finishing up with that body, Valka will say, do your work first, but perhaps before we rest, if you are comfortable going back into the other room, there was another person who met a similarly unfortunate end, who has not had the grace of a respectful burial as this. Do you think we could do that for them too?
I could take some of the plants from in here, and then we could make it a bit more long lasting. Yeah, let's do that. That's a really good idea.
That's a very good idea.
Good. I think whilst Veracity is doing her potion making, Valka would like to sit and study the big ass plant and sketch it. So I guess I don't. So with this herbalist background, I don't think there's anything tangible that I don't think I can gain anything from it. It's just flavor, right?
I mean, if relevant things come up again, the fact that you've done it, you can make a note of it. There's not like anything like strictly mechanical that you don't gain a specific proficiency or something like that. But it might, for example, if a similar creature came up, you might get advantage on a check to learn about it or something similar.
Sure,
that makes sense.
So it is not purely flavor in that sense, but okay. So simple one first. Valka, if you could make either a nature or survival check to study the fallen plant creature.
That's not bad. That's an 18.
18. Okay. Yeah. You actually looking at it, there's definitely this is mechanically normally this would be a plant creature, but it was an undead creature because, as I mentioned, there was this kind of weird corruption with there's the grubs inside it which you can see, which are not part of it. Unlike the other room, they sort of attach themselves to creatures. They did not inhabit this thing in the same way, but the fact that the act of sort of killing these things off changed the plant in some way and made it this undead thing rather than a more I'm not going to say it's like a natural plant because it's a weird sort of pseudo evil plant, but it definitely distorted it further into something else, which might make sense of some of the weird things that have happened down here, which was a place that were normally good at dealing with poisonous plants. Yes, Ed.
This is I guess a technicality. How do you put it? To recognize that this thing had been corrupted, would that be like a religious thing? As in, is recognizing something as an undead thing a religious?
It can be, yeah. Like one of the Tasha's cauldron and everything has a table of suggested skills to use for identifying different monsters, and undead, one of them is religion.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So from that point of view, would I need to make a test to tell that this thing was undeaded?
I'm happy for you because your religion modifier is like +9 or something, +10. So your passive religion, as it were, would be 20. So I'm happy if you want to make a decision based on that, just rely on the fact that you would figure that out fairly straightforwardly.
Well, that's the thing, because what I would want to do is, if I can figure that out, I would feel, Viorica would feel very pleased with himself and would therefore want to go and tell this to Torsten when the opportunity arose. He doesn't want to bugger off, but he wants to say, look, there's something weird going on here, which is that the undead this plant seems to have been taken over by some kind of undead force. So it's not necessarily the plants that are evil, it's whatever that force is.
Cool. Yeah, put a pin in that and we can have that chat with Torsten in a minute. Yeah, so Valka, just to finish that thought, you can take sketches of this thing, you can sort of you can mark out more things about it. With that as well, I think it's probably fair to say you can figure out from where it was before it came down. Like, this thing seems to have been cultivated intentionally. presumably not in the way that it was corrupted and twisted into something else, but like it fits the vibe of this place. It may have even once been a tame horror flower. And in fact, you probably, real world. I'm using the stat block for this was a modified corpse flower is the name of the stat block, and there is a real world thing. I can't remember if that's actually called a corpse flower or not, but there's that horrible, really stinking, gigantic plant. So it's obviously you may have heard in this world you may have heard of equivalent like plants that are like this, like normal plants, but this is definitely you've not heard of plants that are sort of motile, autonomous creatures in that kind of way. Cool.
I guess actually this is for Nat, not for Valka, really. Just checking that before we gave them a burial, the person who was slumped over the desk didn't have like little cuts all over their fingers, did they?
No, I'm curious
from
now.
Cultivating the plant from feeding it.
I see. Yeah.
Oh, no.
That would be good. They do not, but they made
definitely not Audrey too. Okay,
definitely not. I like your thinking. Veracity. What tool proficiencies do you have, if any? I think they'll be on the bottom left of your sheet.
Yeah, I have. I have a herbalism kit, and then
go on.
And then the calligrapher's supplies.
Is that proficiency or what you have on you?
I don't think I'd have put it. It doesn't say, but I don't think I'd have written it down if I wasn't proficient.
Yeah, let me just double check. I'm pretty sure you'll be proficient in it as a. Yeah. The ones in that box are proficiencies. Whether you have them or not is separate, but you don't need one because you have everything you need right here for this. But I'm just checking if you got your proficiency bonus. If you could make. And it's probably a wisdom skill, isn't it? I'm always tempted to make things like this intelligence, but I feel like if it is a druidy thing, and it's you. What's the old truism? Like intelligence is knowing that tomatoes are a fruit, and wisdom is knowing not to put them in a fruit salad. It's that kind of wisdom. Not you already figured out which poisons and plants are which. You got that information, and now it's a case of applying it carefully. So if you could make it might be several checks because you want to make an antitoxin, an injury poison, a poison that can work from weapons, and an ingested poison. Are you trying to make, for the ingested poison, are you trying to make the one from the midnight tears? Midnight tears?
Oh, why not? You gave it to me, so yes, let's use it. Otherwise, that's just sad.
So pick whichever one you want to try first, and make your first of your wisdom plus proficiency rolls.
Let's try the antitoxin first, because I can do that with magic if needs be.
Yeah, you have an inspiration die.
I do.
Good point.
Because it's not been 10 minutes yet, I assume.
Go with it. Yeah, you've got enough time. You can at least may as well burn it on something.
So sorry, I'm rolling a nat 20, then adding wisdom modifier and
proficiency. Yeah. Which would be +3. Top middle, I think, of the sheet usually. Or it might just if you.
Yes, proficiency +3. My wisdom. Oh, +5, so it's +8. Great.
Wow.
That is a 17 + 8 is 25.
The antitoxin is the simplest of them to attempt, which is good. So you have, you could add roll a d3, so d6 and halve it, or do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think, yeah.
A 1.
A 1. So you've got one dose of antitoxin you can add to your inventory right now, which you can deploy as needed. Which I believe, when taken, I have to look it up, but I think you can take it to neutralize a poison or preemptively to gain resistance against poison and advantage on poison saving throw, something like that.
Gorgeous.
Which one? The injury poison. Actually, increase the injury poison. So then make another of those same +8 checks.
I want to do this well for Barda. That is 21.
21. Again, excellent. So I'm using from the DM's guide the serpent venom, which means that you can apply this to a weapon, for example, and a creature who gets an injury from that will have to make a DC 11 Constitution saving throw. It will take 3d6 poison damage, or half on a successful one. And you've got roll a d10.
A d10. That's one that looks like that. That's a 6.
6. So you've got that many sort of uses of this.
Wow.
I think probably, I think it's definitely like 6 for arrows, possibly half as much if you're applying it to a larger weapon.
Okay.
And that's the serpent's venom. Which I think these exist in Beyond. I think you can search by poison as items in Beyond and add them to your inventory.
Yeah, it's right here. I'm just clicking the button 6 times. It's amazing.
Marvelous. And then finally, the pièce de résistance, the midnight tears, which is an ingested poison, which it's like the creature that ingests it suffers no effect till the stroke of midnight. Make a same roll again.
Natural 20.
Natural 20, yeah, okay.
So
right,
28.
Cool. You managed to not only follow the rest of the recipe, but you managed to make a few improvements to it.
Amazing.
I think roll another D3 because the other ones will be quite low.
Oh, that's 5.
5. So that's 3 doses of Midnight Tears.
Oh my word! It's even Midnight Tears is on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, it is. Which is a for the benefit.
They're not paying me to be this enthusiastic. They're amazing.
So a creature who ingests it has to make at midnight. The next midnight, they have to make a DC 17 Constitution saving throw or take 96 points of damage on a failed save.
This is so dumb. Wow, that D&D Beyond tells me that costs.
It's a lot of money. Yeah, it's like $1,500.
$4,500 to have.
Even more.
To have the 3. So yeah, 1.5 each.
It's a spicy poison. Yeah, it's much sought after. So this, you may have stumbled on one of the few places that it is made.
Rusty waits for everyone else to be finished and is kind of going.
Are you alright, love?
Yeah, I think I have a possible career when I leave the Athenaeum.
That's excellent. Killing people?
Yeah. You can choose fire or poison.
I'm very glad you're on my side. Well done.
Yeah, thanks. I feel less useless than I ever did before. This is amazing.
Good.
You have never been useless a day in your life, my dear.
Fiora came with me to see my mum, and he was amazing. When we get back, do you want to come with us to see my dad? I feel like it might take all 3 of us.
I can do that for you.
Okay, and just tell him that. It'll be really good. And if not, I've got poison. That was a joke.
I think Veracity's pinpointed the real final boss of the campaign. By our powers combined, we shall.
Or is the real final boss of the campaign Veracity?
Oh, yeah.
If everyone's ready, we can go. This is Druidcraft.
I think did when Viorica searched the pockets and found the extra dice, did he convey that information?
Yes. You gave me. Somebody gave me the dice from the previous.
355.
I gave you the dice.
Yeah.
355.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, what I mean is that I will, because that was obvious to everybody that I got that single dice. So when I find the other ones, I'll go, oh, I found more dice that. Yes, we now have 4 dice, and one of them feels weighted.
Now that you're holding the other one, keeping your previous investigation check, you realise that the single one you found on the other person is also weighted.
Oh, interesting. Oh, okay, cool. There seem to be very unusual. There seem to be 2 sets of weighted dice here.
Are they both weighted the same? Like, are they weighted for the same number?
I will roll and investigate.
They're both weighted favourably, yes.
Yeah.
I think you should keep them, and then if we meet the bad people, and we can gamble them for the context, and they will obviously fall for it, and it'll be great.
Sounds good to me, and I'm going to secrete them away.
Something interesting definitely happened here. These people, as much as we will give them a respectful burial, I'm not convinced that they were innocent in all this, and Valka will convey the information about the plant that perhaps it was bred to be like that to the others as well.
Maybe they were only trying to protect their home.
Very possibly. It's hard to say.
They also worshipped a goddess who is one of disease and poison. I think it is very difficult to be entirely good if that is what you're worshipping. But I do wonder that I do not feel that, and I illustrate the thing about I'll say it. But I do feel that this plant was not the one that attacked us. It had been struck with some kind of blight, not even a blight of any kind of, not even a blight of any traditional plant blight, but that it was actually turned, as it were, undead. It was corrupted, and not just by its own evil.
Can we go above ground now?
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
I agree.
We should, but yes, on the way, Veracity will gather some plants. not poisoning herself.
You repair yourselves back to the sort of the makeshift small mini camp that's been set up. When you were talking about playing dice with the bad people and all the poisoning, I feel like you're setting up a Princess Bride situation here, where just like a series of challenges to try and make them overcome. Oh, we got
As you wish.
Yeah.
Conceivable.
You rejoin the others who are presumably having tea with Torsten. Who appears
Sorry, just as a sidebar, we do drop into the other body and make that.
Yeah, no, sorry, yeah, good. So you said, do you leave them in that room, or do you move them back to the other room?
We could leave them together in the plant, couldn't we? That would be nice.
I think that would be how I would imagine they would like it most. Be with them.
Maybe they wouldn't.
It's up to Valka. She's doing the heavy lifting.
No, that's true.
Valka is happy to, well, happy is the wrong phrase, but she is content that she is the appropriate person to do the heavy lifting if there's moving of corpses to be done.
Yeah, fair. You carefully, cautiously move the corpse from the growth room to the other room, and you can take care of it. Back at the, again, not quite a camp, but sort of makeshift staging post you have here. Torsten's perked up. Torsten is now laughing about it a little bit now that he's got some of his jumps back. Great. Well, fantastic. It's all clear. We'll take some time to set up the ritual. We can make it. I mean, how do you feel? We could go at midnight, or you could wait until midday. What is?
I need to sleep.
You need to sleep. There's just enough time. If you would feel, fresh when you slept, we can conduct the ritual at midnight. There's just about time. If you bed down now, I suppose we can.
Let's go.
Torsten, there is one thing that I should perhaps inform you of. The plant that attacked us when we were down in that room, which we dealt with, I must say, very impressively, everyone. That plant had something done to it, which I do not think was done by the original, the people who were looking after this place. It was, as it were, undead. It had been corrupted, and we saw these. I'm making a leap here, which you can correct me on. And we saw these grubs. I think they were sort of screaming things, which I did not think were originally meant to be part of this grove of plant life. And I worry that there is something here that is. There is an underhandness here which goes even beyond the goddess of disease and poison, and that something is trying to create undead poisonous things, which is a terrible idea.
Oh, it's possible. I expect it will. Oh, it'll probably work out fine. I mean, we don't need to stay here very long. We just need to, stay long enough for you to get some kit while I set up the ritual, and then we are through. And then, unless something horrible happens while we're gone, then we just leave the other side. It's possible someone's using this place, or it sounds like it could be some kind of accident.
Not everything undead is horrible.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Viorica was explaining all that, knowing that Torsten is a creature of journals and notes and writing. Valka also would have been like presenting scritchings as evidence. Whether Torsten can make heads or tail of her short.
He whips out a little set of glasses and starts. Yes, good. This is. Is this down there?
Yes, it's still there. It's not the most pleasant room to be in, but it's still there if you wanted to study it, although I agree that I want to rest.
Worse than anything else I've ever come across.
I would love to take a look, but probably best that I devote my energies to at least making sure things are set so that we are ready. We are constrained on time, after all, but I feel that the window should be open from certainly by midnight, and then we should take full advantage of it. But I will, if I get things set in time, I will definitely take a look. This is most, grotesque and intriguing.
Veracity will, if it's okay, take her serpent's venom and divvy it up, 1 for 355, 1 for Viorica, and 2 each for Barda and Valka. If you put this on your weapons, it will make people poisoned. I don't have stabby weapons, so I don't need it, but yeah.
Thank you very much. Ooh.
Viorica and 355, it's not that I don't like you as much, it's just you have other things to do, whereas Barda and Valka mainly do the stabby people thing. I hope that's okay.
Of course.
Yeah, it's a D6.
If you can search for it, or I can message you afterwards, and we can. Yeah, but it's a D6, 3D6, I believe, on a DC 11 Constitution saving throw.
3D6
success. Yes, Ed.
I hope this doesn't make any difference, but given that that what Viorica does is sort of, as it were, blow through his sonorant sword cane. If I put,
it's a different kind of poison. So unless you're slicing your mouth while you're doing that, then you're fine because it's a different.
Just don't suck.
Style of poison. Yeah, Don't
blow
like
not suck. That's what you got to remember.
Yeah. Right. Unless anyone has anything else before you take a long rest, you can take a long rest.
I was just going to say, I think 355 would have come up to the surface and gone to try and find the
the Oculus. Yeah.
The Oculus. That's the one. I remember.
Cool. And you can clear
and sort of clear away anything from above.
Yeah, it's quite thickly grown, but there's no like check required now that you know where it is. You can just strip that away and expose it to the light above.
Barda, I was going to say Barda would have joined you because she's got something to ask.
Do you still have the key, Barda?
I do.
I wonder if this is where it's supposed to be used, or if it gets used in the room below.
What's the hole look like?
It's a large aperture hole which is designed for casting light on the room below. It's big enough for a person to fit through, and indeed, while you're taking the long rest, the Torsten is going to coordinate with the Hawleys to start lowering supplies from the cart down there. They don't quite have a crane, but they sort of get a little makeshift rope structure going to lower things down through.
I think maybe this is kind of like a bit more of a light situation. It seems like this is a place where something can escape from, or at least get into.
Perhaps.
Earlier when we found the sickle, you said you detected some kind of magic coming from it. What kind of magic did you have? And she'll pull out the sickle and be like...
If you can't remember, it was enchantment magic that Doc pinpointed.
My systems tell me that it's enchanted magic.
I should say, it is enchanted in the sense of, yes, the object is enchanted rather than strictly being a enchantment effect. That's confusing, yes.
The sickle is enchanted. Can I investigate and
you can
try and work out
identify objects as part of a short rest? If you pretty much have to hold and focus on the object as part of a short rest, or for an hour separately, you can identify objects that way.
So I could do that.
Yeah, any character can do that.
Okay.
Oh. Well, yeah, I think she'll probably be like, okay, cool. Well, I'll check out what it's going to be by tomorrow. Tonight, I guess.
Well, don't hesitate to let me know if you need any help.
Thanks, 355. It's good having you here. And she, meanders down, just like kicking roots and grass and stuff, just enjoying the evening.
Cool. Anything else, or otherwise you can all click that long rest button, get all your things back, get all your health back, just feel flush with spell slots. It's always good. Feels good.
God knows what we're going to be up against next.
It's been a combat heavy few sessions, to be fair. Cool. If you're all set otherwise, as you finish your long rest, you are, and as mentioned, there's stuff happening because you're not asleep all that time, but Torsten is busying himself and the Hawleys with loading stuff down, getting prepped. He's doing something down there that you're not down there to observe it. As you reach the end of your long rest, you're pretty much chivied up by Torsten. Come on, yes, we're all set. We've got a tight window. We've got to get things started before midnight, Yes, if you could please just grab your things and meet me down in the rotunda. He passes off.
Rotunda. But I just said like,
Viorica hates being woken up like this, but all right, yes, I'm coming.
You'll make your way downstairs. Torsten's been busy. Like in this room, he's clearly drawn he's used sort of pigment paint type stuff to draw a big circle on the floor with various lines and containers within it. It's quite intricate. It's clearly taken some amount of time. There is a little dish of salt on one side. There is a little dish of a black liquid. I guess the more perceptive you will smell vinegar on it. And he stands in the middle. So, right, okay, to be fair, the boxes and supplies and things that have been brought down are in the circle as well, in their own little container. And there are circles for each of you to stand. Yes, if you could there and there and there and there. Oh, this is it, people. Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Do we need to do anything?
Stand very still.
Yeah.
Try not to smudge the circle. Try not to move out of those spots. Just to stay, yes, in place.
Is Barda close enough to put a hand on Veracity's shoulder?
Yeah.
Yeah,
stay within your first circle, please. Yes, you can do it.
How big are these circles?
They're sort of they're not massive. They're enough for you to stand in without like having to really compress yourself. But then they're sort of not fidget proof either.
Yeah, as like she's just gonna steady Veracity as Veracity was shaking her head, and then like when Thorsten's like she's like
Cool. What are you gonna say now? Are you gonna say something?
Oh, just that Valka is very uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, when we get through the other side, just be ready in case anything, emergent happens. But in theory, I think it should be fine, and we'll be able to take stock, and we'll go from there. Whew. He takes out a little piece of paper, puts his little glasses on, and is sort of set to read from it. Okay. Drusilda the Conservator, this offering I make unto you. He pulls more salt from his belt and throws it in the direction of where the salt is on the other side. We seek your domain that was lost, that is found, that is lost still. Rack and ruin, this offering I make unto you. Takes a little pouch containing this vinegar substance and throws it on the ground, like douses it on the ground in the direction of the little dish of it. We seek your domain that is dead, that lives on, that is dead still. By your names, by these offerings, and by this key. Oh, the key! Bard of the key!
Oh, shit.
Okay, I'm gonna start getting that out. What was the second name you said again, sorry?
Rack and ruin.
Rack. Alright. But yeah, Barda pulls out the key and she doesn't walk out the circle.
Just hold it there. Hold it up like you mean it. More so, yes. Good.
Yeah, Barda like holds it up like.
Drusilda, the Conservator, Rack and Ruin, by your names, by these offerings, and by that key, open the way. Open, open, open. Thrice I say, and done. And nothing happens. And up from above the oculus, sort of glancing up, you realize there's nothing up there anymore. There's no sign of the forest. There's just darkness. And this darkness blossoms through and encroaches and fills the room. The key, Barda, drifts out of your hand, and the light of it spreads. It's this purple pinkish light that fills the whole space. As the darkness is flowing in, this light fills it at the same time. So it's this very odd, unsettling where you're being dislocated and filled with a shimmering, blinding light at the same time. It spreads until it fills the entire room, and you kind of can't see anything anymore. And then, very abruptly, it recedes. And you're somewhere else, which is where we'll pick it up next week.
I want to find out where we are.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No, don't tell me
where you're going, but I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, okay.
Until next time. Which
I think
is
we might be in a demi plane.
I mean, hope's a fine thing, isn't it? Yeah,
fucking hope we're on a demi plane.
yeah.
Or not, something's gone badly wrong.
That is an accurate summation. Thank you all. Yes, no, it's been a great session. We've had a combat-heavy few sessions, and you've done very well. It's very pleasing, and we'll pick up next week with what's happened post-ritual. So yes, thank you, lovely players. Thank you all of the audience for watching and joining us. Thank you for joining us in chat. Thank you for doing all of the nice things. I assume everything is nice. That's just me. We are here every Monday, 6 to 9 p.m. UK time, which is 10 to 1 p.m. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time, if you happen to be over there. We are also doing other shows. At the moment, we're doing a series of one-shots on Tuesday nights, 7 to 10 p.m. in the UK, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific. Yes, likewise. Yeah, come and check out all the cool things we're doing, and join us again here next week with that. Yes, if you're watching us here, you might have found us on Twitch or YouTube or something like that, or a podcast. But if you were on Twitch at twitch.tv/rolltogetherrpg, or on YouTube with the same youtube.com/rolltogetherrpg, you can find us by searching Roll Together in podcasts, all of these things. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/rolltogetherrpg. Join the D20 Club. Thank you again to our lovely D20 Club patrons. Come support our shows, come support our things. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to Hero Forge. Thank you to UltraPro, and thank you to our supporters, which include Level Up Dice, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. You can still use the chess code at the bottom of the screen, or type code in chat if you've got time. Warriors of Waterdeep, likewise, the codes are at the bottom. You can type them into chat. And of course, D&D Beyond, which we've been referencing throughout as we've marveled at its various things. I should say, if you might still have time to just enter the Ultra Pro giveaway in the chat by doing whatever you need to do. I think that's everything. This has been good. Thank you so much. Thank you, players, once again, and we will see you next.
Thank you, George.
Thank you, George.
Yeah.
Bye, folks.